Hey, what's going on, New Bedford? Welcome to Straight to the Point, WMB1 Radio. We got my partner, Derek Consatio, and special invited guest, Jonathan Nobry. What's up, Mr. Nobry?
I don't know why he was specially invited today wearing that.
You know, there's a lot of Viking news to talk about this week, so I think I didn't want to miss nothing.
What Viking?
You like to talk over it, so
you want to talk about how they're in second place?
well, we're gonna get there. We're gonna get there.
Not by much.
Yeah, you know, we're gonna get there. So we have 4 key topics today. We're going to talk about the mayhem and chaos that's going on in the NFC North Central Division, because right now 3 teams are really fighting it out. Things could change in the last 2 weeks. Right now, by percentage points, you know, Detroit's got the leg up.
Is it percentage points or is it
the head-to-head?
Head-to-head.
Same thing.
I'm just curious.
Same thing.
Just
Same
curious.
thing.
Allegedly.
But everything should play itself out.
Hey, do us a favor. Come into the picture, big guy. We're not gonna bite you. Hey,
Well, he's seen the show before. You know, he doesn't have insurance in case D-Con starts throwing
That's
stuff.
why I sat you next to him. I didn't want to. You can still come closer though. You know what I mean?
No, I got him at arm's length, Jonathan. I got him at arm's length. So the first topic that we're going to discuss is what's going on in the NFC North between Detroit, Minnesota, and Green Bay. And then we got a couple other scenarios. But Jonathan, since this is your first week, how do you see the NFC North as it is at this moment?
It's wild. It's like a free for all. Like anything goes. Well, I mean, the Packers, they're not really catching anybody. We're all in.
Well,
They can cause
they
damage.
can.
A lot of scenarios.
they can in a way, as if you guys lose out. Well, no, they can't.
No.
They can't lose out.
Yeah. The only thing it can change is whether we're the 5th or 6th seed, because right now we're the 5th seed, which is crazy because we're tied for the best record in the NFC,
Right.
but we're not a division winner because, you know,
They got to change that rule.
yeah.
It's crazy.
You could have
I remember that in the
Either-
Marshawn Lynch days when they
either-
were 6 and 8 and went to they had a home game.
either one of us could finish with 14 wins
Yes.
and be a
Be on the road for round 1.
That's nuts.
So you play all season, only
That's
lose 2
nuts.
games or 3 games if we lose. And so right now Detroit's the number 1 seed. The only thing that can change, because all 4 divisions are going to get the first 4 seeds, and I don't know if we'd be ranked higher than Detroit Philadelphia if they weren't a division winner, because we got the same record as them right now. We didn't play Philly this year, did we?
No.
no.
Yeah, but we're both 13-2 right now.
But the
It depends
Atlanta
on-
beat them and we beat Atlanta.
But
So
I
that's-
don't know if it goes by that or if it goes by your division record.
It goes by conference record, I think.
Conference record.
Conference record. So I don't know what their conference record, but right now,
Right now they have 1 loss.
so Philly's going to be a division winner for all intents and purposes. Detroit's in the driver's seat in our division. Atlanta's going to be a conference winner, and the Rams.
I don't know if Atlanta. I think Tampa Bay might get them.
Well,
That's a
they have the
that's a
advantage.
close
I'm just saying
race.
in the driver's seat. Atlanta, they won last week, which I didn't know if they would be able to do, and they pulled it out. But
Phoenix.
they got to go at Washington this week.
Yeah.
Washington needs them.
Which we saw was a very tough spot last week for the Eagles.
When Hurts went out. When Hurts was there, they were.
Well, they were up 21-0 when he got hurt.
I mean, he
He got hurt, and then they were up 21-0
ended
after.
up with 33 points.
Yeah.
So it's still,
I do think Hurts would have gave him a better chance to come back, or
Hurts controls the ball. He controls the time.
less possessions for the other
Yes.
team.
So I think with Hurts that's a totally different ball game.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I lost that game on my card, but
So
I'll take the loss.
So as things stand right now, Atlanta's the number 4 seed. So us being 5 would go to Atlanta, which I prefer. But if Atlanta loses, then LA catches them, and I'm not so confident going to LA with all LA's tax in place.
Though. Things are different. Man.
You say you're not worried
I'm not.
about the Rams?
I'm more concerned about the Rams than I am Atlanta.
I'm not, because we listen. Okay, so since the bye, Pace and Cashman weren't playing together. All right, they didn't have Cashman. We only had Pace, and he was the green dot, so it was a lot different. He was going through his paces, but then also we didn't have Addison going off like he's going off too. So I mean, those conditions have elevated us a little bit. I think people aren't expecting it.
I think that could be true. I just think
possible what we can do offensively and
the
defensively.
Rams have also improved. That's my
the Rams are,
with Naku and Cooper Cup,
They got to defend.
and if Stafford don't turn the ball over,
and their D line is crazy.
Yeah, I feel you on that.
They're the only D line in the league that has 4 guys that have over, I think what that average over double figure pressures. I heard it on the way here.
But you know
That's
what's
nuts.
ironic?
Look, they had 3 guys. I'm sorry, 3 guys. But they,
All young dudes too, I think.
they're all young. They're all in their first 2 years. That's crazy.
But the
I
thing
defer
is,
to the face mask.
Huh?
I defer to the face mask.
our first meeting with them when they didn't
That
call the
wasn't
face
safe.
mask on Donald.
It wasn't.
But with that being true, what Derek just said, if they don't get you to the pass rush, they have a horrible pass defense. So you can throw on them.
Yeah.
You know, it's just the pass rush.
Darnold is
Wait a
like
minute, wait a minute.
a
So-
Houdini-ish
so-
type guy.
Wait, yeah. Then
Or is it the run? You can run on them.
after you played us, you played them.
Yeah, like 4
That
nights
was
later.
that was a 2 game.
Yeah.
Right.
4 nights later. Yeah.
So, if I recall correctly, they didn't have Puka either.
No, Puka
they
came
did.
back that game because he
Yes,
killed
they
me in
had
fantasy.
Puka and-
I remember.
Yes,
That was
they
Puka's first
did.
game back. I
That's
remember.
why
I
they
got
were skying
beat
like
because
that.
he had a 28-point
That's
game.
why they were skying like that.
Oh,
And-
that's the reason why
but-
you got beat.
but
Yep.
but
Ali?
D,
Yeah.
There's a lot of reasons why you got beat in Ali.
No. I don't have Puka and Ali.
I'm just messing.
I have him
Oh.
in the league. I'm in a championship in this week, but in Kevin Daniels' league. But the whole thing was, I remember losing that game that night. I was up by 20 points, and he just had Puka. And I said, I should be all right because he might not play that much.
yeah,
And he had 148 yards and 2 touchdowns, and he scored 27 points or something, and I ended up losing. But Puka
That kid is
and Cooper Cup,
Yeah, he's-
Puka has now
Bobby
emerged as the
Higby,
number 1 on that team, but Cooper Cup's 1A.
Yeah,
And they
That's
both
a
are
strong
high
1A.
volume.
previous
Not
Triple
lately.
Crown winner.
Lately,
Yeah.
Cooper Cup's been scoring single digits in fantasy.
Right, because the focus has been more on
Yeah,
him, and then they've been using a third wide receiver a little bit. Is it Robinson
yeah.
that came over from Kansas City?
Yeah,
I mean,
he's been
didn't they
doing
just get that Tyler Higbee kid back too?
Yeah, because he was out.
that. He's out
last
since-
week?
since
Something like that?
Detroit.
Yeah, he got hurt.
Last
Yeah.
year.
But he came back. But they had another tight end that was doing all right. But I've never in recent history seen so many good teams in so many scenarios going into the last couple of weeks. It makes the last 2 weeks of the season. People would be thinking about resting people. I don't think anybody can rest anybody unless Minnesota
really.
loses this
Not
week. Then Detroit has nothing to play for
Right.
the last week.
Right.
But if both of us win, or if Detroit loses, next week becomes super important.
It is, yes.
You know, so
tantamount.
it's been a while since we've gone down.
I'm just going over. I know we said we're going to talk about the North, whatever.
Yep.
But yeah, I'm looking at the NFC South. Atlanta's last 2 games:
Yeah.
Washington and the Panthers.
I'm saying.
And the Panthers have been playing well.
Very winnable Panthers, but tough. Yep.
Tampa Bay's last 2 games because them teams are tied. Tampa Bay's last 2 games: Panthers and Saints. So
Oh, goodness.
so this
is like a walkthrough for them.
But this game for Atlanta against the Commanders is going to be big. It's going to be big.
So we all know Detroit's been playing well. And like Derek said last week, they've had the next man up
We have to.
mentality.
We have to.
But San Francisco's hurt too. But I feel like they're going to play for pride. That game's in San Fran,
In
right?
San Fran.
I just think
they're going to. It's a revenge game.
Yes. And I think they're going to have a meaning. I'm not saying they're definitely going to beat you guys.
No.
I'm just thinking it might be tougher than people think because it's in Candlestick. I do. If that wind goes crazy, then that hurts the passing game, which Detroit is Jamar Gibbs just had a great game, but he just played, 4 days ago? Like, is he fully vamped back up?
Yeah, but we don't play.
Oh, no,
Monday.
that's right. I
We
was
don't
thinking
play the
because of
Monday.
yesterday's games. Yeah, I was thinking tonight.
We play Monday.
But he was high usage last week, and he did very well.
But he's a young
I know.
individual.
I know, but I'm just saying when you had both running backs, you just didn't know what to plan for, and you could rest people so they were both strong the whole game. Yes, Gibbs is a young buck, but he only had to play half the carries because he had another guy equally as good as him at running back, and they had different roles. You know, Montgomery was the power guy, the tough yardage guy. Gibbs catches the ball. He's a scat back, the quick guy. You could throw him a little screen pass, and it could be 70 yards before you blink.
Yeah. Still do that.
Yeah, but I'm just saying he just, now he has to do everything himself. And week 1, a great pass on that. He did very well with that.
Paulo Paris and Philly Child.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
What up?
Oh, so Detroit did sign Teddy Bridgewater today.
Yeah.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, they did. So
I like that
but
guy.
what do you think of right away when they say they signed Teddy Bridgewater? I just want to see if he.
Honestly, when I heard it, I was like, in a way, I was like, but I think they did it because they don't have they have to, according to Campbell, our backup guy, he
from
didn't
Tennessee.
he didn't do anything wrong.
What's that? Tannehill?
No,
Nah,
the guy that got hurt at Tennessee sat out his whole first year for
Yeah, the worst part
Detroit.
about it, I just had it.
He's a real good quarterback. Glad
But he
dude.
got in trouble over the weekend?
No. I just had his name in my head, and then
I'm just saying he hasn't had a play this year because Goff's been healthy, but he sat out all last year because when he came out of Tennessee, he blew out his knee.
Hendon Hooker.
Hendon Hooker.
Oh,
Hendon Hooker.
But I don't think they believe he's ready to step in if something happens to Goff, and Bridgewater knows the system already.
Bridgewater knows the system,
So he's back.
and Bridgewater presence in that locker room is big. If it wasn't, in my opinion, if it wasn't for Bridgewater, Williams would probably be out of.
And that's exactly what Paul Parrish just said. You to the veteran presence, and that's what I was waiting to see if you were going to agree without me. Like
his most impressive stretch was that Saints won 5 games. I mean, he didn't even have to come out, but it's free, so you got it. But I mean, he still had good ball in him.
Yeah,
this guy just won a championship.
High school,
yeah.
And he had to resign to take this
still,
job. But I don't.
Though.
I think he'll go back to that next year.
I
He'll
think
just
that's
be
pretty
able to
impressive.
think about it like this: NFL veteran backup pay, high school pay.
Yeah.
Oh, for real.
But I don't think the high school is going to go back and open up that job for a new coach. I think they know it's just a playoff run. He won't have a job after the Super Bowl or whatever, and then he'll be able to go back and resume his
Is that seasonal work?
just that experience, that veteran presence, like they're talking.
I do I like it? I'm on the fence because
It can't hurt.
it can't hurt, but the only thing that can hurt is Hendon Hooker's confidence.
Yes, and that's the only thing I worry about.
That's why I'm on the fence with it.
Maybe they sat him down and said, "You're still number 2.
Of course,
You're still number
Bryce
2."
Young, though, right? Bryce Young.
that's different.
Oh, he lost his job, so that
That's
was a different message.
That's different.
Yeah, they
This dude-
sat him down.
This dude was the number 2, and he didn't do nothing wrong. Bryce Young was losing games and messing up. This dude did nothing wrong, and all of a sudden you just let me bring this veteran back.
Okay.
That could be a detriment.
All right.
But I think they probably talked it over.
Yeah, I think they sat him down and said, "You're still number 2, but just in case something happens, we got somebody to guide you through. Somebody, because if Goff goes to get hurt now, he won't be on the sidelines to be able to say, hey, we don't know. But at least Teddy Bridgewater, who also knows their system, so he can go to the young fella and say, I know the offense. You need to hold on. You got to get the ball quicker, released here, or you got to step up in the pocket here.
With the defense.
Yes,
Hey,
let them know you're not a threat unless something happens to Hendon Hooker.
Yeah,
Bridgewater's coming. If they did it that way, then his confidence
That's
is
the
still
Sean
there.
Mannion role.
Hey,
I mean, but it is.
but so now we get back to the NFC. Is there a team playing? They're all 3 playing good. I think the Packers have picked up a ton of momentum because of their run game. They used to be pass heavy, and now every time I turn around, Josh Jacobs is killing it.
yeah.
He's that type of runner, though.
So I think they're hitting their stride right now, and Minnesota and Detroit are both playing well.
He better stay healthy.
That's that too.
He better stay healthy. If he
Yep.
don't stay healthy, Green Bay.
There's nobody behind him. But I look at for us in Green Bay, and a little bit you guys, but you guys have an event. The playoffs really start this week. The unofficial playoffs, because if anybody loses, it shakes up.
And not only not for
Balance.
nothing. In my opinion, Green Bay don't want to go down to that 6th seed.
Oh, because then the same thing we were talking
They're
about.
going to be the 6th seed rather. They don't want to go down to that 7th seed.
That's-
They go
Oh,
down
'cause
to
then they
that
play the
7th
number
seed.
3.
They
That's
play
bad.
the number 2.
Oh, one gets a bye. Yeah,
They play the number 2,
Yeah.
and that number 2 is probably going to be Philly.
Yeah, it's the Eagles. Yeah. Definitely.
on the road.
Yeah, and you don't want to go to Philly on the road like week
Right.
1 in the playoffs.
But there's going to be some intriguing matches
So-
because outside of Atlanta, the rest of those teams look legit in the NFC part of the playoffs.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to have to go to the Rams. If the Rams eke out that division, I'd rather go to Atlanta. I'd rather see Atlanta win and we go to Atlanta because I feel with a young
What
quarterback,
about Tampa? Would you want to go to Tampa?
I'd rather go to Tampa than LA. I fear Tampa because they can score.
Yeah.
So any one of those teams can score, but I think I'm not sold on Penix being a high scoring offense yet. He's played one game. They gave him a conservative playbook week 1. By the playoffs, they might have. I think each week they might open it up,
They're going to have to.
but we don't know
But-
where he'll be.
But this is my thing. It's not like he's a brand new quarterback into the system. He's been in that system since training camp. You know what I mean?
True.
Mhm.
So they're probably gonna. They probably had a method to their madness. If we're in it, we'll probably throw this guy in week 15, 16. Let him get his feet wet,
Yep.
and then see how it goes from there. That's my opinion.
I mean, the train wasn't wrecked. It's you're at 500 when he enters, and now he just put him above 5.
And they still have a chance at a playoff spot.
Still a very good chance. Very solid.
So What's your confidence level at San Fran? Realistically, I know
Honestly,
how hard of a game is that?
the way and I talked this over. I can't even say talk this over because I had an argument.
Me and you didn't talk.
I had an argument
Oh.
about this in my mother's living room yesterday. I mean, no,
He was in the mirror. There was no human here.
in my mother's kitchen. In my mother's kitchen, I had an argument where my mother, my sisters, my other brother was talking about, stop it. The kids are here. Stop it.
I understand why.
With another San Fran fan.
Yeah, I know.
So
What's up, Danny Cott?
yeah. so you know, my thing is, in my opinion, Detroit's been on a revenge tour this whole season. We got screwed last year against Dallas. We came and handled our business. We lost to who else did we lose?
We lost to San Fran last year in the playoffs.
We lost. That's what
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
getting. Well, anyways, San Fran is on that list.
Right.
And if we don't, in my opinion, if we don't beat them by at least 24 points, I'm gonna consider it a loss.
And my thing is,
I want to just shit
San
all
Fran
over.
has nothing to play for, so I think this is their Super Bowl because they can play spoiler. But they got so much hurt with McCaffrey and Mason and the third string running back, and I'm like, Charlie just made a point. They're not going to be able to score enough to beat Detroit. I think their defense will play reasonably well at home.
I don't know.
If everything goes perfect,
when they were healthy, and I'm not. It's like I had the argument that it was last year, but even with their starting defense and everybody healthy, we put up over 24 points on them.
your team's one of the most talented offensive teams
So,
out there. I
listen,
get it. I get
Vikings weren't even what we are this year, and we spanked them last year.
it. Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was a pretty solid.
But I'm just saying, we saw what happened. I don't want to blow Derek's head up, but we were talking about people stubbing their toe last week, right? We won a close game. Detroit won, but Philly lost. And I was saying them and Philly were the flip-flops for number one.
Yeah.
And Philly was the one that stubbed their toe. So I thought that was going to be the first thing. I thought Derek was going to have my mic muted.
Nah,
And say, speaking of stubbing toes,
Hey, trust me. I thought about it, but I was like, you know what?
you argued with the family enough, right?
That-
Put on
let-
punishment
let-
for the family.
Let's go on to the next. That's what I was.
All right.
Hey, keep on to the next.
On to the next.
Next man up.
Next man. That's his philosophy.
Yeah.
But okay, so you feel confident this week. You're going to get the job done. And then us in Green Bay. That's do or die. That's a playoff
That's
game.
what I've been waiting to hear.
Yeah,
This is what I wanted to hear.
And I'm not by far giving nobody any advantage. I'm calling the game even, but we're playing in Minnesota because we beat them in Green Bay already.
Yeah.
But Green Bay wasn't playing at the level they're playing now.
Right.
Love was hurt. Remember, Love was hobbling around.
Yeah.
I think he came back a week before us, but he wasn't as mobile. He's back to being mobile, but I'm not impressed with the way he's throwing the ball around like last year. Did you guys feel like he was better last year, like making decisions?
At the end of the season, he was when he got good. Man.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, but right now it seems like I chucked it up to he had an injury, so he couldn't plant, he wasn't taking as many chances. And then Jacobs has been great all year on the running.
And he's gonna be down a receiver, I believe. I don't think Watson's coming back.
But you know what's crazy? Watson, he's good, but he's not consistent.
No.
Romeo Dobbs can step up.
And he just came back.
Who?
Romeo Dobbs.
Yeah, but he had a great week last week.
I know what I'm saying. He just came back I'm gonna say last week.
2 weeks ago, he had a good week. Last week he was mortal. But he came back, but Dobbs at one time was considered the number one, and then Watson was up there with him. But then Jalen, who's the second year dude.
Wise, is it?
No, starts with a W, his last name, but he's a wide receiver. I'm drawing a blank. But they got three capable wide receivers. And Jalen Reed. Yeah.
Jalen Reed.
Kid from Michigan State. So and then Tyler Kraft has really stepped up because their other tight end he was splitting time with got hurt. Mm-hmm. He was the veteran, but Tyler Kraft has stepped into that role, and his usage rate has gone up a lot more.
I like what B-Bag had to say.
But
it is a revenge game. I don't care what it's a revenge game.
Oh, now I see why you like what B-Mag said.
Yeah, well, that's the truth. You just got
San Fran is going to have trouble scoring.
Yes, they are.
I just think they're going to make it tougher than you think. I think Detroit's going to win by 10 or less. 10 or less. I don't think it'll be decided till the last quarter because I think they're going to play for pride. And Shanahan's going to.
They don't have no right tackle, a left tackle.
Yeah, he's sitting out.
He's out. He's out for the rest of the year.
Yeah, they said they're not playing him no more. I don't know how many guys are out on defense, but their offense is all banged up.
Debo is going to have to run the ball.
Remember, they lost Brandon
That's
Ayuk,
crazy.
McCaffrey,
He's double.
the other two running backs, the left tackle, and Purdy hasn't been
Purdy's not
playing as good as
Purdy
he was
hasn't
last
been pretty.
year.
pretty awful.
So, what are your chances of? What do you see the Green Bay Minnesota game playing out? Because I think that's the most critical game in the NFC this week.
It was close last time. I don't think it'll be different.
So you think Minnesota comes out?
Be to the wire.
Do you think Minnesota comes out with a W? Yeah. You're positive.
I'm hoping.
Is that because you're a homer?
No,
Derek,
no.
he's not like you.
I'm just asking some questions.
No, okay. So
it's going to be a battle.
I'll draw it back to this.
I'm saying field goal either way.
For the last couple of weeks, the issue's been, you're leaky with the run. You're leaky with the run on defense.
But our
Again,
run stopper.
we just got our resident run stopper back. We had this kid Jalen Redmond. He went down with a concussion. He was actually starting to be in that place plugging holes. But now that we have Pace back, he's that
Cashman
guy.
back
He's
for the third or
a
fourth
game
week.
record. He does all that dirty work that needs to be done. And him the way he coordinates with Cashman is kind of next tier.
So I believe stopping the running game will be key because I'm not worried
you're
about
gonna
making pressure on.
Make them one dimensional.
You're gonna have to stop the run.
I got a trivia question for Derek because me and you already know this one.
You're gonna have to stop the run.
Definitely. Yeah, that's number one. That's job one.
Where do Mr. Van Ginkel and Mr. Grenard rank in sacks?
That's so stupid, dude. That's not trivia. It's
I'm just make sure you don't get the wrong
facts
answer
right now.
Yes, but I'm saying so. I think they'll put pressure on the passing game, but I'm not so convinced they'll stop Jacobs in the running game.
Worried about right now. You're worried about the running game.
But I'm just making a contrast. Like
Yeah.
I'm not as fearful. I just want to see if you agree with my analysis. I'm not as fearful of stopping the passing game because they have capable passing game. But if they can pound the ball with Jacobs, who gets stronger as the game goes on, it's like a mini version of Derrick Henry.
Yeah, and that's
scary.
That's
less risk. Just hand off and get out the way.
Tick.
Yeah, and then we don't get many opportunities. That's what scares me. But I'm hoping for a Minnesota victory, but I'm saying that game's decided by a field goal. And I like our field goal kicker better because he's healthy again.
It's indoors,
right?
right?
Kid, 60-yard field goals outside of Aubrey and Dallas.
It's indoors, correct?
Yes, but still, indoors, outdoors. I just think the more consistent leg consistent from long distance. That week that he didn't go on IR, he went right after the game. The only 2 times he missed a field goal was he pulled a muscle. He tried to play through it. He missed 2 field goals, and then they put him on IR. Since he rested that and came back, he hasn't missed.
Well, he missed one when he came back, but that was like the first one. The first one he attempted when he came back.
Was it?
Yeah.
I know he has a high percentage. I think Aubrey was the only one that had a higher percentage. I'm sorry, of 50 yards or more field goals.
Because my guy only missed 2, and that's because
your guy kicks a lot of long distance field goals.
He only missed 2. One we tried last week. It was like 65 yards.
Yeah.
And he didn't. You could see that he didn't hit it well, but still a 65-yarder.
That's a pretty powerful because you got to put so much foot into it, but then you got to worry about accuracy.
Yeah.
Sometimes people will get the strength and it will veer off.
And it was in Chicago in cold weather too, so that didn't help out any. That's true too. But now, like I was asked, was it yesterday or earlier today? I can't remember. I was asked in the Minnesota Green Bay game, who are you rooting for? Who do you want to win? And I listen, I don't care because I gave my honest opinion. My honest opinion was I hope they both lose.
Of course.
And of course, you would pick something impossible.
And that's what we always say. A good tie.
And I left it.
Division games, I
don't want a tie. I want both of you to lose.
Somebody has to win, so that's impossible. So, pick your poison, sir.
Obviously, I want you.
Do you match up better against one or the other? Because you're going to have the home field advantage either way.
Both games are tough. There's not an easy road playing either team.
Right.
So honestly, in my opinion, and in my fantasy world or road to the Super Bowl, I hope you guys meet up. Well,
meet the Eagles.
I hope you guys lose against Green Bay.
Yeah.
So that makes it easier for us.
Yeah.
And I hope that you guys match up against each other or somehow match up against.
One of us knock the other one out of the playoffs.
And then Philly or somebody knocks the other one out, and then we have to play Philly.
All right. are so many crazy
Oh, I know.
scenarios.
It's not.
I went through.
not.
Oh my god!
When was the last time you guys saw one division with so many quality teams? Have we seen something like this recently?
Nah,
Because I was trying to think.
It was
Back in the
almost
day-
a fourth without.
Back in the day, and I give it to Brian. I know he's going to say it like right now. There was one time where NFC East had 3 teams making it. But I don't think but their winning percentage wasn't as high
Yeah,
as our division.
Yeah,
But they had the Redskins.
third place with 4
They
losses.
had the Redskins, Cowboys, and maybe Giants. I mean Philly make it or Giants. One of them. They all made.
and like one of them had double-digit wins or something like that.
Yeah, because that team the division was mediocre, but they were bunched up together and they all made it.
Yeah.
But I mean, 13-2, 13-2, and 11-4
That's crazy.
is all in one division. And the Bears
That's
aren't
30.
they're probably the best last place team out of all the last place teams.
And the
Don't
crazy
even
part
be
about
like
it,
that.
crazy part about it is, think about it. You guys got one loss from one of your losses out of the 2 is from our division. Green Bay's 2 of their losses out of the 4 is from our division. We don't have any losses in our division, but think about it now.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I forget what the stat was, but just our 3 teams. That's what 5. No, that's 4, 7 losses. 7 losses,
Yeah.
and out of that whole division.
Right.
How many? Just 4 from our. No, I'm sorry, not 4. We have how many? We have 2
We lost.
We don't
You
lose out of
guys-
division much.
Us,
right?
us
What
and
you're
the
saying.
Rams.
Yeah.
Green Bay lost to us
Yeah.
twice. You guys once.
Yeah.
So that's 1 loss out of the division.
Yeah.
We have 2 losses out of the division. You have one loss.
One loss out of the division, lost to the Rams.
So that's 4 losses out of.
We don't lose.
That's 4
we
losses.
don't lose to.
That's 4 losses out of the division.
Right.
That's crazy.
All right. I see Paul Paris putting up the AFC Central, and I know they've had some good teams, but Paul, I've never seen them with these type of records.
AFC Central.
Yeah.
Who's in the AFC?
When we were saying
Oh,
that's Pittsburgh
way
and them.
back in the day. Right?
But yeah, it's a while ago for
But-
Pittsburgh because
but when,
Cincinnati isn't good all the time. But there was times where I don't think as much as he's saying when he says a lot. I think they've done it 1 or 2 times, but the third team wasn't something in 4, and the
It-
first 2 teams.
But
were-
AFC used to bang up-
North basically.
yeah,
But
But it was a
Back
different
then-
alignment. And then
those 5 teams in the division back then.
yeah, different alignment.
Central.
AFC
So
used to
Baltimore-
routinely beat up on the NFC.
So it
in
was
the day.
back then. AFC Central it wasn't even Baltimore. It was Cleveland. Cleveland's in there now. Baltimore didn't have a team.
Yeah, they didn't exist.
Cleveland
Cleveland.
originally moved from
was
Cleveland to
Cleveland.
Baltimore. Then
Yeah.
Cleveland got another franchise back.
Steelers, Bengals, Oilers.
But the Bengals weren't good consistently. That's the Ken Anderson days. They went to 1 or 2 Super Bowls.
Steve Leitch.
But I don't know. I don't think the teams, if we could call up those stats, I don't think you saw teams with 2 losses, and 4 losses. I think they all might have made the playoffs,
Right.
but it might have been 4 losses, 5 losses, and 6 losses.
What is this guy saying? Think about that. We all play the same team, with the exception of Detroit. Next year we'll show how good the division is, and we'll all play a playoff schedule.
Okay.
Well, we played a playoff schedule. Green Bay played a playoff schedule.
No, because we were 7-10. But just playing in our division was tough enough. Look at our out of division loss, the Rams. We also played San Fran before the injuries.
Right.
You know, like
Right.
we had a decent schedule this year,
Mhm.
and we don't
It
make
was like
our
the
own
12
schedule.
hardest for that 5 games.
Yeah, we started, and we had the Texans early. We beat the Texans, the 49ers,
Right.
and then I forgot who we lost to
Well,
first.
well,
Was it
the
Detroit or the
Jets
Rams?
We lost to us first.
All right,
Then,
But we
then
were-
you had the
The
Detroit.
Jets were considered.
You had the Detroit aftermath.
but we played teams before the injuries hit, and they were tough, and we came out all right. Like I didn't expect us to beat San Fran like that, and we handled them.
That's one that I expected because of last year. Honestly, I think it was just a personnel thing against their personnel thing, and then Sam was just gonna get carried along with that. But it turned out a lot better than I thought it would.
So who you picking this week, Derek?
Yo. I hope you both
They
lose.
both lose, man.
Yeah, but
You
honestly,
one
yeah.
gotta win, one gotta
Hey,
lose.
not-
Do you see
no,
an
I gotta-
advantage even?
I think it's even, but I have to go with Green Bay.
Okay.
I have to.
But I have the same feeling, except I say Minnesota by a field goal.
Yeah.
You might say Green Bay by a field goal.
I think it's going to be close.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be close.
I don't think any of us can say that somebody's gonna pull
If
away.
if there's a blowout, I will be surprised.
Yeah,
on either
I'll
side.
be shocked.
On either side, if there's a blowout.
because both teams can score.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hey,
and both teams'
Terry
defenses
and,
are.
and the
and
weather
both- and he makes
conditions are not
stops.
going to be a factor.
No, and
They both
teams'
got a
defenses
kicking
are good.
game.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They
they both got
can
good
get stops.
coaches.
Yep.
So unless a defense makes a big play or special teams makes a big
I
play,
think Sam is
I-
going to be the guy to break it again.
I think honestly, I think I'd be shocked if it's a low scoring game.
Yeah, that too, right?
Paul, did Derek send you money this week?
No, hell no.
You don't agree with him this much. No.
He's like in the Alabama running back. That's why.
Jahmyr Gibbs. By all means, Alabama. All right, so there's one other story in the playoff scenario that I wanted to bring up because I didn't really think about it till today. The one we just talked about, crazy. But in the AFC, the game with Denver at Cincinnati. If Denver wins, they clinch. Cincinnati has to beat Denver to pass them, and they have to win the next week. Cincinnati's played
Cincinnati
well
has
the last 4
Cincinnati
games.
has to win out.
Yes, but they control making it come down to the last week because if they lose, they can't catch Cincinnati the last week. Cincinnati will be up.
And,
I
hey,
mean,
But
Denver will
listen
be
to this though. This is the cheat thing. Chiefs already
yes. So the
They already-
last week of the year, they don't have to win.
they play the Broncos.
That's crazy.
They play the Broncos.
That's nuts. It's set up. Well, it's
So Paul,
But-
you're saying you're an
it's
Alabama
aligned
homer.
to-
But-
yeah,
I don't agree with Derek. There's just too many Alabama studs on that team, and his personal preferences get the best of him.
But you got to think of it like this: do the Chiefs want to lose to the Broncos?
You never want to
That's
do
a
nothing to
rival.
help your division.
That's a rival.
yeah, I get
And
it.
they know each other, so playing them might be harder than playing somebody who's technically better.
Yeah.
you
And
know?
then you said Cincinnati, and Cincinnati got the Chiefs number.
Yeah, and they're not intimidated. They're not.
They should
intimidated.
have beat the Chiefs.
But you know what I like about that
Best
matchup?
defense, though,
Yeah.
is-
Who's been going off for Cincinnati lately? Two
Chase.
people. Yeah. Who's Chase going to be matched up against this week?
Sertan. That's gonna be a good one.
That's going to be a matchup to watch.
Yeah.
That, and then I forget the guy's name.
I
Maybe
think
one of you
Higgins might
guys
be
remember.
hurt,
Huh?
Higgins got hurt last week. I don't know.
Yeah, but I was reading that. They said he's not practicing, but they expect him to play. But Higgins should have the better game if Surtain, because Surtain's a shutdown, but Chase is top grade. It'll be 1A on 1A, and we'll see what happens.
But I feel that Sertan, if Higgins plays, he'll match up with Higgins.
But who's
And then they'll put a DB on
With Higgins?
Chase with a safety over the top. I think that's better. If I'm the coach, I'm putting Sertan on Higgins.
I would love to see him follow Chase.
I'm putting-
Because if you can shut down Chase, then you got Surtain to lock.
Sertan to lock down Higgins, hopefully.
That is,
And now you got an NFL cornerback on Chase with a safety over the top.
but you still got to get pressure. Burrow will find a tight end if anything.
But you're not letting Chase or Higgins beat you.
I figure out
Chase, I've seen so
It's-
many quick
it's more
drives
like
where
that.
it's been 60 yard,
Yeah,
58 yard,
Yeah.
and not even long plays sometimes, like a little, just like they do with St. Brown.
Yeah.
Just a little, and Jefferson for that matter. They can just throw him the ball 5 yards down the field, and them guys cut over the middle on a little slant, something, and boom. But
What's the defense going to be able to do to Bo Nix? I kind of think that's a wash.
who's the big defensive player that's having a great year for Denver? He's up there in sacks. He has a different name. I forget his name.
Denver? Or
Denver.
I know Cincinnati has one. I don't know what Denver.
Who are you talking about?
The 91, the white dude. He's nasty.
No, yeah, I know who you're talking about. But no, there's another dude for Denver that's up there in sacks this year, and Cincinnati lost the offensive lineman that.
I agree with you,
against-
Charlie. No, what? I'm sorry.
The matchup that would have to match up against the defensive lineman. He's going to be all pro this year for Detroit. I want to say he's only a second year or third year.
For the
dude.
Broncos, you mean?
I mean, for the Broncos, yeah. But Cincinnati is notorious for having a bad line. I mean, even when they went to the Super Bowl, I remember seeing the game against the Titans where he got sacked 11 times or 9 times or something crazy
9
like
times.
that.
Oh yeah.
And
Still
they
had
still won,
500 yards.
But Denver
Still
has a
won.
dominant pass rusher
That's crazy.
that's going up against that sorry line. You know,
All right. Not Zach Allen.
Nope.
Franklin Myers.
Nope.
UWAZURIKE 96. Jordan.
Said he has
some letters and then put
name.
numbers in there.
No, I'm saying his number's 96.
I don't know his
Sounds like
number.
Uwazi. No?
Yeah, you Wazirik.
Say some other names. I think if I heard it,
That's you said a D line.
maybe he's a outside linebacker.
Jordan Jackson,
Nope.
DJ Jones, Malcolm Roach,
Nope.
Lavelle Bailey, Cody Barton, Nick Bonito.
That's him,
Nick
Nick
Bonito.
Bonito.
Oh,
Nick Bonito is like number 3 in sacks.
He's only 25.
Yeah, he's only in the second or third year, but he's up there in sacks, and you have to
So he's
game
a
plan
machine.
for this dude.
He's a machine.
That's why they traded
11 and a half.
Yeah.
11 and a half sacks.
Yeah.
Tied for 4th.
and their line is bad,
Forest line.
and the dude that was supposed to match up against him is either really hurt or he's not playing. Yeah, that's him, Nick Bonito. I wasn't familiar with his name, but he's having a great year.
Yeah.
So if he gets pressure on, but we've seen Burrow with pressure on him, like the game we were just talking about.
Doesn't really fit.
Just get back up, and as long as he don't get hurt. But now Cincinnati got that running game too.
Yo, Chase Brown.
Chase Brown has stepped it up
They say he's what was it? I think they said he's like 100.
away from 1,000
Like,
yards, and he
yeah,
didn't even start until halfway through the
Yo,
season.
yeah.
What?
He was
He started-
splitting time with the
That's-
other dude.
Week
That's good
7.
stuff. Yeah,
Week
that's big time.
was it week 7 or week 7 or week 10? Week 7 or week 10 is when he started. I think it was week 7.
Yeah.
Because there was another veteran running back that was starting when they were splitting.
Yeah.
And then that dude got hurt and he
Hurt,
became the guy.
yep.
And now,
And I mean, we know how play action can create man-to-man looks. So,
and we've seen Burrow against the
I
pressure
mean,
before.
that might blow up the whole, Higbee chase thing.
But how do you guys
Higbee,
see that game? Do you think, because it's in Cincinnati,
yeah,
Denver's
that's-
been playing well. Knicks has been getting more and more of the handcuffs taken off them.
Yeah.
But I don't know if they have the running back game to keep them.
Charlie Perry, because you don't want to come out. hey, not if he's gonna wear that dumb jersey, not Charlie.
Hey,
Where you?
Charlie, he's on a free agent contract this week. He's auditioning.
I forgot all
He's
about it.
auditioning, man.
Yes,
We
sir.
like having a dialogue of 3 people
Shout-
because the more different ideas,
Yeah.
the more we challenge each other to think and see things. I think it makes it more interesting for the audience. So
Sims Jr.
Appreciate you, Charlie.
Wait, we got another. We got another purple people eater over here.
hey,
Outta
Robin
here.
Davis.
You don't come on all year. Now all of a sudden you see
Hey.
2 Vikings guys. You want to come and
Sir,
chat?
represent.
Out of here, boy.
But he's not talking about the Vikings.
No, I know, but I had to throw that out there.
Skull, brother,
That's
skull.
like a shout out
Hey,
to you.
hey,
That's
you
my
know,
boy.
I don't know if it was him, but Brian definitely. I think he might have chimed in too. They thought I was making up the skull thing.
Oh no.
I was like,
Yo.
that's been a
Yo,
Viking thing forever.
I really thought you was. I never because
It was both of them, I think. I know Brian said something, but I couldn't remember if he said
I
it.
did before
When
you.
I kept putting it, they were like, what's that? I said, ask any
Hey,
Vikings fan.
I had no clue. I'm like,
They're like, you're making stuff up.
I'm like, yo, now this dude wants to do dip and stuff.
I think during the Zimmer era is when it got hyped.
I've never,
know what I mean?
I've never
It was
heard
really-
a skull
it
until
started-
that.
When they started blowing the
conversation.
horn and all that, and
Yeah,
the clap at the beginning, that's when Skull. But I want to say that was like the
What
early
does it stand
90s.
for?
It's a Viking acronym because they're the Vikings.
Yeah.
So the Vikings from Scandinavia, that was their rallying cry. Skull! Like, let's go into battle.
Oh, I never.
Yeah. So that's the rally cry for a Viking back in the day. So with us being the Vikings, they brought it up. So do you guys see one of those 2 teams having an advantage before we close out NFL?
I don't know.
Out of the Denver and Cincinnati game. It's in
It's
Cincinnati,
Burrow. Burrow's the you know what I mean?
but Denver's going to be a division winner unless they lose out.
Yeah.
But are they going to get Cincinnati because Cincinnati the last 4 games has played very well.
Burrow they like to
And
get
they do
hot.
this every
they
year.
that's what I'm
They-
saying.
they-
That's
they play well at
they
the end of the
They like
year.
to get
Denver's
they
gonna
like to
be-
get hot.
Denver's gonna be a division winner.
Oh, no, because they're in Kansas City's division. They're going to be the wild card, rather. Yeah. But they would get that wild card spot if they went out.
So they're fighting for
They're
that
below the
spot.
Chargers too. The Chargers are 9-6.
Yeah, that's another
Denver's 96 too, aren't they?
Yeah, Denver's 96. Chargers 96.
that crazy playoff math.
And then there's still the Colts and the Bengals if they win out.
Hey, that's another division that can get 3 teams in now.
Yeah, just not at the same standard as us.
AFC.
AFC West. Yeah. But so I'm going to say Cincinnati gets
Well,
them at home.
with Cincy, you're talking about that's a possibility too. Don't forget with Cincy, if they were to get in,
Yeah.
It'll be them, Baltimore, and Pittsburgh. But
But
their records, I'm saying,
Yeah,
they'll get in,
yeah,
but
yeah.
The record's
not as dominant as the
Oh,
teams
I
in our
get what you're
division.
saying.
Yeah,
Baltimore 11-5, Pittsburgh 7-6.
11-5 would be 4th place in our division.
it's-
So they'd be behind Green
Oh,
Bay.
no,
How
right.
crazy is that?
yeah, that would
11-5,
That would have been the
you'd be in fourth
Biz. That would have been the Biz.
Yeah.
how are they 11-5?
Who's that?
Baltimore. Oh, because they played already. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, how are they 11-5 and Green
They
Bay
played yesterday.
11-4?
Now, you mentioned that game. They put a whooping on the Texans yesterday. I thought the Texans,
safety?
yeah, the offense, and it killed me in one of my fantasy championships because
You
I
got
had
safety.
Stroud, I had Collins, and I had the kicker, and
crazy.
they didn't score for crap.
That's an original score too. It's like I don't think it's one of
On the
those.
two, but
That's never been a
the
score
defense couldn't. They were at home,
ever.
and the defense couldn't stop Baltimore. Lamar Jackson looked like he was playing for a new
Yeah. Beyonce
contract.
was the only winner of that one.
Yes, but
Got the bag.
when I saw that game and I saw the earlier game, I had more respect for both the losing teams, and now I feel like both of them are frauds. They're not as good as we thought. And I'm not talking crap about the Steelers, and I don't think there's any Texan fans that I know about. I'm just calling my own honest
So you
opinion.
call the Steelers a fraud? Oh, you Steelers fans? You just heard Stephen
Look,
Lowe.
they're all black and yellow
Fake
waiting for
fraud.
me
Yo,
outside. When I
Yo,
come out.
Stephen Lowe just called the
I'm
Steelers
just gonna
a
go out there
fraud.
with Jonathan. They're not gonna expect him to be here. They're gonna see the Viking shirt. They're gonna think he's
Stephen
me.
Lowe just
They're
called the
gonna go.
Pittsburgh Steelers
Red hat.
frauds.
I feel
Yo.
like they're not as good as we thought they were, and now I don't think the Texans are
That's-
as good. Texans were my surprise team that I was rooting for in the AFC, and I said Stroud is downgraded. He looks like he lost his confidence,
He lost his receivers.
but he still got Nico Collins.
That's
He
it,
lost
man.
Tank Dell,
That's all.
but he still got the tight end.
Michi's not good
No, but Joe Mixon was dominating for a while.
because they had to worry about the pass game. Now they don't.
Yeah, only Tank Dell. Oh no,
What do you mean only Tank Dell?
he got here so long ago. Stephon Diggs.
Yeah, like you guys know about things.
We did.
Glad he's gone.
We
because
did.
We got Jefferson.
We won that one.
Charlie, you heard him?
We won that one.
Gerald Walker. What do you mean he's not lying?
Yeah,
See?
it wasn't meant to throw shade.
Yo,
They were both playoff teams, and I was
Hey,
like,
no,
I don't think that. I'd
Houston
rather
to me
see
is the
Cincinnati
bigger
go
fraud,
than
though.
either one of them go right now.
I think Houston to me is the bigger fraud.
bigger
But
fraud.
Houston lost
They
their
got-
number 2 and number 3 wide receivers, so yeah, I can see that.
Pittsburgh didn't lose anybody.
But yeah, Pittsburgh's not hurt nowhere.
They
Oh
got
no,
their-
their wide receiver just came back this week,
Yeah, but still,
but still, he was their go-to.
he was
guy.
there. He was there. He was
He
there.
missed 3
yesterday.
weeks in a row.
Okay.
First
okay,
game back.
Okay, against you guys, right? Goff threw freaking 5 interceptions.
All right,
Right?
And out of the
And-
five,
and
and
they
out of
were
the
up.
five, out of
That's
wait,
where
wait,
I'm.
wait,
That's where
out
I
of the
go.
five,
That's where I go.
out of the five, one was the tip.
It-
two were
That's
tips.
immaterial to me.
But what do you think?
the fact of the
two were
matter
tips.
is that 5 interceptions and y'all still came out with the W on them. That's them. They were up on y'all like what 27 and a half. Something
Who
like that.
who
27.
who they play?
Y'all played.
No. Who did
All right,
Houston
Gerald
play?
saying Pittsburgh, the one team he beat. You know, Gerald's a Cowboy.
Wasn't it
fan.
y'all?
Who did they play?
They played y'all.
Yeah, the best team in the
Oh
NFC.
my goodness.
The
But
best-
they're frauds.
The best team in the
You-
NFC.
You don't have a lead like that against anybody.
What
And,
do you-
and just blow it.
It happens.
Well, okay. I guess it almost happened to y'all.
But it
So,
didn't.
do you trust either one of those 2 teams?
What Pittsburgh?
Pittsburgh, or do you trust one more than the other? If you had to narrow it down and put all your money on one of those 2 teams, because they're both going to make the playoffs, who fares better? Because I see both of them losing in the first round. You think they got a better chance to win? I saw Steeler fans
I'm
getting
gonna-
all over
Strictly off
Tomlin
of-
yesterday,
I
which
think
surprised me.
oh,
'cause-
Tomlin yesterday all year long.
yeah, but I saw it come out crazy yesterday.
I'm Silky,
Yep.
Derek Freites,
Kevin Resendez.
Kevin Rosen, calling for Tomlin's head
Yeah.
all
They're
year long.
Pittsburgh fans.
It wasn't just yesterday.
I never looked at him as a bad coach.
all year long. Savulo, shut
I
up.
just thought they
Never
were
had,
cheap.
Yo, he's a
never
he
had
can't be a
losing season.
he can't be a bad coach. He's
Yeah.
never had a losing season.
Right. And they
Yeah.
don't get big free agents to go there. He coaches people up. They build through the draft. They find gems in the draft.
They had a problem with that one kid right? With the receiver.
Yeah,
Deontay Johnson.
He
He's on
was
his
the
4th team.
injury thing.
Who?
We're
talking about the guy that.
Oh, Pickens. Yeah, Pickens is an attitude
Pickens.
problem.
Yeah, he sucks. He's
He's
terrible.
good, but he's got a bad attitude.
His attitude's terrible.
Yes,
It is.
yes.
And that,
His physical skills.
He scores. He wants to just.
He wants to be a diva without having diva status. You know.
he
backing
he
him up.
hasn't proved himself yet.
No, but he was there when Russell Wilson came in. He was the go-to guy. Russell Wilson immediately got a chemistry with him, and he became their big play guy.
Right.
Then when they started doing a
'Cause he's
couple
a-
of different things,
he's a
he
big
got upset
receiver.
because he wasn't the star of the show. He's one of them guys that, yeah, we won, but nobody threw me the ball.
Yeah,
That's putting yourself in front of the team. And Tomlin
that's
addressed
terrible.
that.
He's terrible. He's a great talent. He just
Again,
he's
so
a
that's
cancer.
That's all
He's
I
a
wanted.
cancer
Yeah.
for the team.
that's
Yeah.
kind of a
That messes up
hamstring.
team
You know?
chemistry. So he said he thinks Pittsburgh's in better shape. Pittsburgh or Houston, if you had a ride with one of them in the AFC, who lasts longer?
I don't know, man. They both have good defenses.
But Houston's a little banged up because their defensive backfield, and then they got the dude that's suspended for 3 or 4
He'll
games.
be back.
Yeah, he'll be back for the
he was there.
playoffs.
He's their leader.
Yeah,
He's their
but they
on-field
had
leader.
3 people in the defense. No, he's a linebacker.
Yeah,
And then
but
they had 2 guys, defensive backs that were out. They only had Stingley, the guy that plays opposite Lassiter, Stingley, and then there was somebody else. But their defensive backfield was tight.
When they played against us, they were all healthy.
Yeah,
And that helped.
See, that's the
Yeah.
helped them out.
the guy wasn't suspended yet. He was a linebacker.
And he
But
he
then
had
they- I
he
can't
had
remember.
he had over 10 tackles.
There's
A lot of
another
defense.
dude that hits real hard. That's in their defensive backfield. He's out.
They got two good.
Stingley's
defensive
the
backs,
coverage
too.
guy. Lassiter's a coverage guy, but there was a guy that was a thumper. I want to say he had an African name, but I can't remember his name. But
If I'm not mistaken, both their defensive ends have about close to 10 sacks apiece.
oh yeah, because it's old friend Walker.
Yeah, the rookie.
Hunter.
Hunter.
The rookie there.
He's second year guy. Will
Will, yeah,
because
the
him and Stroud were
same
back
guy,
to
yeah,
back
the
picks.
same guy that
Second year.
Stroud.
Will Anderson Jr.
And
He's a linebacker.
And your boy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Hunter.
Hunter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hunter's always good for a dime when he's healthy.
I just never saw
always
him
good.
close out games with a big sack. He played great during the regular part of the game, and then in the fourth quarter, it was like, all right, somebody else.
Let me take it.
Will Anderson Jr. has that dog in him. Like he'll go get that sack to kill a drive.
But again, it's sort of like that. He's the vacuum there. You know what I mean? He draws in that double team, and then somebody else has the opportunity to just run for it.
That's what
You see, B Mag's comment.
Neither. They are both playing bad.
But we're saying you got to pick one, Mags.
Yeah, you need.
You're forced to pick
you can't
one.
be on the fence.
Yeah.
So
Neither.
if you had to gamble
No
at
offense.
all and bet on black or bet on red, if you had to bet on black and gold or
I don't know, but
white and
You got wire
Carolina
cutters.
blue,
You cut that fence.
I don't know. But Steve Loeb said Pittsburgh Steelers are frauds.
I said, which
got
team
Houston.
is more of
I
a
got
fraud?
Houston.
He only
He got
heard
Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh
He
because
got
we have
Pittsburgh. Hey,
Pittsburgh
he got
friends
both.
around
I
here.
got-
No, that's what you said. You said
I said-
rewind the
I
tape.
got Houston.
I said
He got
Pittsburgh and the
He
Texans.
said no
are they
before
frauds?
before he said it. He said Pittsburgh
Right.
Steelers are frauds.
The guy in the middle.
I just feel like they're both in the same area right now. Like
Yeah,
They were
There
both
you go.
like
they were
Mac,
both
like
playing
Mac
better,
said.
and now I don't trust either
Lost
team.
to- they've-
Mac, nope, I'd quit.
Yeah.
They're both playing bad.
Yeah.
They're both playing bad. Like
Who's
Mac
in the
said,
quality
at the,
teams?
at the wrong.
So Brian's not going to pick a horse in this race. He's going to walk home.
time. Yeah.
Mag is like, nope, I'll take that long walk,
Yeah.
83 miles back home. I ain't getting on either one of those horses.
That's hilarious.
All right, so that's NFL this week. We got a game tonight. You know, it's not high stakes. Kenneth Walker's out for Seattle. Chicago and Seattle play. Seattle has something to play for, but Chicago could cause some problems. But
Chicago's all done.
yeah, but they're just playing to see who they want to keep next year and
They're done.
showcase the coach and see if he fits into their plans next
They
year.
got no life in them.
No, they're done.
Like zero.
They're done.
They need an offensive play call. They got talent.
All the
on
air
offense.
in the
They need an
building.
offensive line, but
Oh yeah, that's
that's
their
they
big
better
thing.
draft offensive line. They
Matter-
better get
matter
free
of
agent
fact-
offensive line.
Matter of fact, I guess what was it? Belichick and Saban. I guess they were either inquired or approached for the job. But neither one of them want that.
You know
Because
who
of
did
that.
say they wanted it? The old Seattle coach, Pete Carroll, came out and said he'd love to be considered for the. He just said that this week.
75 years.
Yeah, but he said I'm not done coaching. I want to, but maybe he can get him on track for a year or two. He's
Yo,
definitely not there long term.
Think about it. Pete Carroll's been out of the league for what, 2 years now?
Yeah,
Oh, I thought this was the only year he was out. I thought he coached 2 years.
Did he coach last year?
he might. I think last year might have been his last year.
Well, think about it. He's looking
Still.
for a job. I take. Oh, I'll be interested in that. Yeah, he'd be interested in whoever hires job right now.
I'd hire him as a consultant.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
You know,
I wouldn't hire him.
Something
because
like
he's not
that,
going to be
yeah. I
here
wouldn't hire
long
him
term.
as-
Associate head coach, I'd say, yeah, groom the next
Get him an
guy.
oxygen back.
But you know what is
Still a-
interesting
still a lot
right
of
now
energy, though.
is we made our predictions last week. You were on the comments with the college football playoffs. Did they play out the way we expected to?
Nah, I think I try to go for a couple of.
You went with
I
Indiana,
think
right?
I had what was it? Boise and
Notre
Well,
Dame.
Boise had a bye.
oh, yeah, that's right.
So the
But
teams
I
that
had,
played,
I had Notre
the
Dame.
highest seeds blew out everybody.
Yeah,
We-
Texas.
That part.
That part.
I didn't think I thought Indiana would play
I thought-
Notre Dame close.
I thought so too, but no.
And that amazed me
I have some
how,
observations.
because they were healthy. Both teams were healthy.
Yeah.
And they're both in the same state, so it's not really a road game.
I wouldn't
Went
say
2
that,
hours up the
Subaru.
road.
I would say New England High needs a reality check for the kids. But that's just.
I don't think the kids in the area for any school take sports as serious. When
No.
we were growing up,
we played.
we
We played all
played-
the time.
we shoveled
pickups.
lots off to play outdoor basketball in the snow.
But let's not. That's
Defer away. Yeah, we'll save that for a topic for next week. But that's something we definitely want to have a
Local
local
sports.
story.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, we definitely want to, bring up just the whole sports culture. But in college football, was there anything that surprised you, or what surprised you the most? Because all 4 games, Tennessee came up to Ohio State and got whooped. Notre Dame whooped Indiana. SMU, who won their conference, got annihilated.
Clemson got
Texas.
smashed.
Clemson got smashed too. But there was no close games.
No.
Does that surprise you, or because everybody was saying, "Oh, the format with 12 teams, we'll get the," but you had Alabama out. Alabama to me would have been more competitive.
Alabama got 3 losses though.
But because if you put Indiana and SMU in the SEC,
Oh no,
they might have been a 500 team.
I agree.
Lucky because you're beating up there's no off weeks in the SEC. So to only have 3 losses to me is
Oh no, get out of here, man! Another guy.
it's Viking Central. Skull, Mr. Andrews. We're up to 4 people.
Let me find out you texted all.
All we need is Matt Semio now. We'll have all the New Bedford residents that are Vikings fans. So what's your thoughts on how the playoff format worked? 12 teams got in. There was a couple of teams that didn't get in. Alabama and somebody else come to mind. There was another good team that didn't make it.
Off the top of my head, it's just Alabama. Ole Miss, maybe.
Another SEC team, but I'm thinking it was somebody else. But the strength of schedule of who's the team that just got blown out? SMU. They had a nice season.
Yeah.
But their schedule, they played in ACC, right?
Yeah.
They beat out Clemson, who wasn't that good. Florida State was down this year.
Florida State sucked.
Yeah, but those were the top teams
Right.
in that conference.
Yeah.
Duke's down, North Carolina's down, North Carolina State's down, all the rest of those, Virginia, none of those teams were powerhouses. So you beat up on an easy schedule, just the total bipolar opposite of the SEC.
Right.
So I think strength and schedule should be.
It definitely is, Lamont. I agree. But I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So let's fast forward to the matchups now. Ohio State and Oregon is the most intriguing. But I'm not sold on Ohio State.
That's a rematch.
Yes.
That's a rematch.
I was looking.
But I'm
at the
saying out of
highlights,
the games
and
this week, that looks like the most high profile game out of the 4 games.
you want to save that for a little bit because there's a couple of other ones.
All right. Who else is playing this week?
Georgia and Notre Dame.
I'm
That
taking
one-
Notre Dame.
I'm taking Georgia. Georgia's quarterback's hurt.
That's gonna be a really.
So that's going to make Georgia
That's
win?
gonna be a
No.
tight one.
Nope. But I don't have the confidence in Notre Dame.
You know what I see?
I do, because
Well,
outside of when they lost to that low division 1 school, week 2, and
at Northern Illinois.
yeah, but then they beat up on everybody since then.
so what I see in common with a lot of these teams that are in right now, they have they have balance on both sides of the ball as far as offensive, defensive line. They all can run the rock. I think the only thing that's going to separate these teams is quarterback play, and I'm with you on the Notre Dame thing because he's pretty strong. He's got an arm, but he's
playing against a SEC defense.
That's nice, but I mean,
That's not playing that non-conference at the NIU Northern Illinois defense. He's playing against an SEC real live up in your face defense.
okay, Notre Dame is beating quality teams.
Who?
I think they played Michigan this year. Didn't they play a Big Ten schedule this year?
Who they beat? That's quality. I'll
Yeah,
go
you
to
can
there.
call it up, but outside of
their
that, week
schedule.
1, they beat somebody good the first couple of weeks of the year too. The first week, because either week 2 or week 3, they lost to Southern Illinois
Right.
because they took them for granted.
Yeah.
Northern Illinois, rather, because they beat somebody good either week 1 or week 2.
Yeah.
I think they beat Tennessee, somebody good like that, and they got high on the hog, took Northern Illinois for granted, and
All right,
Northern
let's
Illinois came in and got them.
Game 1, they played Texas A&M, beaten by 10. Game 2, they lost to Northern Illinois. Game 3, they beat up bum-ass Purdue. Game 4, Miami of Ohio. Game 5, Louisville. Game 6, Stanford. Game 7, Georgia Tech. Game 8, Navy. Game 9, Florida State. Game 10, Virginia. Game 11, Army. Game 12, USC. And then Indiana. No high-powered team there.
I think they just didn't have none of those games were close either, though. I think they dominated after that loss. I think that's going to be their motivational cry.
They beat Louisville.
You saw what happened when you didn't come to play week 2.
They beat Louisville 31-24. That's close.
Well, Louisville was a bowl team this year.
But there's a lot of teams that are bowl teams that aren't that good. They're bowl teams.
All right. So you're riding. I'm taking Notre Dame in that game.
I got them.
Y'all going with
still got
Georgia. Remember,
I still believe the quarterback.
Because I really believe that Notre Dame's playing better than them right now. Who does Texas play this week?
Texas plays.
Is it Boise?
No.
So Arizona State.
Oh, Arizona State. Another team that people said was ranked too high, but because they won their
They're ranked number 4.
yeah.
I don't.
And I think
So
that's
them
gonna-
and
I
Boise
think that's
State
gonna
are the
come
underdogs
down
this
to-
week.
I
that
think-
people are saying
I think Ohio State should have been 4.
because of what we talked about with strength of schedule. But so Arizona State, I believe they're the ones that have that 6'4" wide receiver that's supposed to be the second best wide receiver. He has a hard name to say, Tutorial McMillan. I don't know, something, but he's like 6'4", 6'8". He's like a T. Higgins.
Yeah.
And they're saying that he could be the number 1 and number 2 wide receiver in the country. They're predicting him to be in the top 7 picks in the draft. So depending on how you see Travis Hunter as a wide receiver or defensive back, but then there's the kid from San Jose State who set all the records but didn't get the notoriety because he wasn't playing on TV every week like Travis Hunter. And that kid sat out his bowl game. But he was the leading receiving yards, leading touchdowns, and he didn't win the best receiver because it went to Travis Hunter. But Arizona State, I can't remember who their quarterback was.
Their quarterback is either Trenton Bergat or Navi Bruzon.
And I'm not
Or Christian Hunt.
So I don't know what their strong points are because I didn't see Arizona State play a lot. But I know they won their conference. They got a top 4 seed. Are we expecting something similar that happened to Indiana and SMU in that game?
Was it Malik McLean or Troy O'Meary?
I don't know because I don't think their quarterback got hurt.
No, but I'm talking about the receiver. You said they have 2 receivers that are 6'4".
His first name starts with a T, and it's a weird name.
Troy.
No.
Malik.
Well, maybe the kid played for Arizona, not Arizona State. I thought it was Arizona State.
Yeah.
But so do you see Arizona being competitive in that game?
No.
So that's going to be one of the teams that, if it was Final Four,
I'm with you.
they shouldn't have gotten in.
They
And people would have been arguing like Florida State last year.
Mm.
I didn't think Florida State was that good, even if they were healthy.
It's going to take a while for them to really figure it out because they just
They're inviting you to the party,
It's
but it's not short. There was no competitive first round games, not one. And that one is in danger of being a blowout this week.
well, I mean, and of course, Boise State isn't going to be any different. I don't think.
Well, who's Boise State matched up against? It's another top team.
Penn State.
Penn State.
Penn State.
I,
played
listen,
well, too.
okay, you want to talk about quarterback play? I don't believe in that kid because he's kind of he's
Oh,
System
what?
quarterback. Penn State.
What, Penn State?
yeah.
They can run the ball.
I mean, you see the way they run that.
Yeah, they can run, and they got a good
But
defense.
that's what I
Abdul
mean.
Carter.
But
They
that's
got
what I
two-
mean. If
Two
they
Two
if
first round picks on defense.
I feel like
they don't have to throw the ball.
yeah, but okay, so if Boise somehow makes that elimination, like where you can't run the ball as much. If they have to depend upon that kid, it's not.
If they make him,
It's not
if they get
gonna-
behind,
I got Boise.
and he has to bring them
I got
back,
Boise. Yeah,
because it's better to have a polished running game. Nobody stopped the dude Gentry yet,
right.
and he played against Oregon, and that was a 3-point
Might
game.
be a boat race.
And he didn't have a bad game against Oregon, but they give him the ball 30-something times a game. So if they stop him, can they beat you somewhere a different way? Because it's
Boise
Ashton
can.
Gentry,
Penn State got a good defense.
yeah, Abdul Carter
Okay.
and another dude on. They got a linebacker and a defensive end that are going to be first round picks, and Abdul Carter is going to be top 10.
So you going with Boise? That's not loss. I'm going Penn State.
I'm going with Penn State.
Penn State.
Y'all going Boise? All right.
No, we didn't pick for Texas, Arizona. did we?
No.
we just did.
No, we mentioned
didn't
it.
Didn't you say
We were looking
Texas? Didn't you say Arizona wasn't?
I think he just said that's going to be another
I
blowout, but
said
we didn't really
blowout,
discuss it.
but
But I think
that's right.
I think
No,
Texas
I'm-
will beat Arizona State.
Yeah, I'm going to.
I think. Yeah.
So
I get that.
I just don't think Arizona State. I think I put them in the same division. They got to buy in the first, but if they had to play a first round game, they might have been added into it.
Yeah.
And I'm not so sure Boise would have won the first round game because the thing that in my mind about Boise is they played at Oregon and only lost by 3 points. So I feel like they played the number one undefeated team in the country and hung in there.
Yeah.
So I don't think Texas blows them out, but I think Texas is going to be too big for them and their defense is going to wear them down.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sorry, Penn State.
Yeah.
Penn-
I'm like, wait, what?
No, Penn State,
Penn State.
because we were talking about the
Boise.
quarterback, but I'm not sold on
The-
Quinn Ewers at
The spread is 11 in that Penn State Boise. Do you think they cover the spread?
I think they win by 13, 14.
What about-
Because if they fall behind, they can't use
Well, they're
Gentry
not
no
gonna
more.
Cover the
Yeah,
spread. if they don't.
you said Boise's gonna win, so the spread doesn't matter. Yeah. But I think Gentry gets
So this week's winners:
I think they make the quarterback have to win it.
Penn State, Texas. Oh, we saved Oregon and Ohio State for last,
The best. That's
'Cause I was like, we only
that's
picked
probably
3.
going to be the best game in the whole.
and that's a
playoffs.
rematch, like Derek said.
That's probably going to be the best game in the whole playoffs.
It's in Oregon.
Yeah.
It's in Eugene. Ohio State's favored by.
Wait a minute,
To me-
they're at
to me-
neutral sites this week, aren't they?
These
Oh,
are
wait.
the.
Yeah, only the first
Oh,
round
oh,
was
oh, yeah,
home
yeah,
It was
games.
like all going. Yeah.
They played in Ohio State the first time though. They went to the shoe 110,000 and came out victorious
I
against
honestly
Ohio State.
feel like Ohio State. If they didn't kill themselves so much, they would have won that game.
I
They were
just
handled.
feel like they're a
They
little
were handled.
overrated.
They were handling them.
Well, Ohio State,
Was handling who?
Oregon.
Oh, that game was going back and forth.
I get it, but I mean, okay. So last score, you know what I mean? That would have gone to Ohio State. That's what I'm saying. Because Oregon,
They're playing.
they couldn't.
Yeah, everything's neutral sites now.
So
I think it was just a
that's
case
pretty
of
much
Ohio
Close enough for Oregon. Yeah.
So you got Ohio State.
yeah.
I'm taking Oregon.
I think their quarterback play is superior.
Dylan Gabriel?
superior than Oregon's.
Dylan Gabriel is a Heisman Trophy candidate.
Yeah, like
And they got a wide receiver
Did
that
you-
transferred there.
did
That's
you
real
bang
good.
your head in Hawaii?
Lamont Ferg, what's good? What's good? If you're still there, tell us why you believe the college football playoffs is working way better this year.
Of course, it is. You got more teams.
More teams in it, but there's always going to be a debate no matter how many teams you let in. Somebody didn't get in. And now the debate rages on why didn't they get in? Well, if you put any of those other teams in the SEC, which I firmly believe, if you put Boise State, actually, I think Boise State would have been the best of them, but Indiana, SMU, and then Boise State, and who else lost last week? Indiana. Did I say Indiana?
Yeah.
But you put all four of those losing teams in
Clemson.
and in the SEC, and they're not even 500 teams. Because can you imagine you're playing Texas one week, you're playing Alabama, you're playing Georgia, like every Mississippi. There was so many top teams.
When we were talking college, I read you the Georgia gauntlet.
Yeah,
Georgia went through a gauntlet.
right. But their quarterback, even when he was healthy, he had to step back. They're talking about he might not even declare to go pro. He was supposed to be the number one quarterback coming in this year. And him and Quinn Ewers, neither one of them had a great year. And now because of NIL deals, they're both looking to stay in college and transfer.
This guy's the kid from Georgia gonna stay in college because
He's going to go somewhere else, though.
it's all about his shoulder.
But he's going to go somewhere else because somebody's going to pay him big money to use his fifth-year eligibility to go play. And the same thing's going to happen with Quinn Ewers. Quinn Ewers was actually number one. Carson Beck was number two. Rated quarterbacks coming into this year. They haven't lived up to the billing. They had better junior years than they did. I don't know if Ferg's still there, but I was waiting to see if he chimed in to give us his view on why you think. What do you guys think? The format's better because there's more teams?
Yeah,
I just like the playoff.
it makes it more interesting.
It reminds me of the college basketball. I love seeing the underdogs have a chance to win. Like, yo, put everybody in and you got to win out.
Brackets is just dope. You know what I mean?
I just think there's too many teams in basketball.
It's just you gotta funnel them in.
There's
You know
never
what I
too
mean?
many teams in basketball. It makes it interesting.
There's always that 5-11 game, 5-12 or 6-11 game that there's somebody that's an upset. Paul, what makes it better? Is it simply because more teams have a shot at it and Maybe teams weren't good at the beginning of the year, but they're hot now.
I'm surprised he likes it because Alabama didn't get in.
Alabama had a lot to overcome because of the coaching change. You can't lose a legendary quarterback who played a certain system. And DeBoer came in with his own philosophy, and he had to convince everybody.
And none of his guys. These are all Saban's guys.
Right, but they're all hitting the portal.
Yeah.
They lost so many good people this year.
It's crazy.
I saw like 6 people that were starters already say they're out of Alabama this year. One of them was Justice Haynes, the running back. He was like their number 1 running back. I mean, he's out. He's going to Michigan's coming up with a lot of NIL money lately. Yeah. They got in the high school. Alabama did not deserve to be there. Wow. Damn.
That's what I said.
I know, but Paul's an Alabama homer.
I know.
Yeah.
I was waiting for an argument. Now I have to agree with him. But I still think they were better than some of the teams that
they would definitely
that got in. I think they would have played better than SMU and Indiana. But Indiana might have just stunk it up because they were playing good, even though Derek mentioned that they didn't have the toughest of schedules, but they played some decent competition and they won every game they had to win. But playing on the road, even though it's only 2 hours away, going to Notre Dame and playing there, that wasn't easy. It's a rivalry game.
You got to walk halfway there.
Why I say
because of what you just said.
It was great because look at what you just said. A lot of teams from power conferences. A lot of teams from power conferences didn't make it though. Now, if them teams that were in the power conference were in another division, they might have made
1
it.
or 2 teams. Yeah.
Like,
1 or 2 teams.
like Ole Miss, like you said, or Alabama.
Yeah, it's all about alignment, right?
It's tough. There's nothing you can do about that.
It just shakes out funny, and it just, I don't think it's something that you ever really fix because again, you got thousands of teams, honestly,
and it's the first. It's Tennessee. Tennessee played well. This is the first.
Tennessee just got bombed at Ohio State.
I know, but I'm saying they played well in the regular season.
Oh yeah, another power team that but they made it in spite of that schedule.
But this is the first time they're doing it with 12 teams, so it's going to have some kinks.
What's the one reason that none of us have touched on yet of why this is good for college football? Let's think of the money being spent for NIL, right? Yeah. All these extra bowl games, extra advertising dollars from the TV networks.
Are they?
There's more games,
but are they extra bowl games? Because they had 1 million bowl games as it is.
No,
but Peach Bowl, a Car Quest.
But these are high profile because
of bowl. They still have the Blockbuster Bowl.
Yeah, they do, but you didn't see these quality teams playing. So these teams are all playing for a shot at the national championships. Everybody's tuning in because you don't know there's going to be a blowout. You want to see that upset. You want to say, "Hey, I saw that game. I can't believe SMU won."
I think when we were kids, we were dreaming about this. Honestly,
this is what we wanted.
That's that. I mean, ever since.
What's the most anticipated sports thing in the United States?
Super Bowl.
College NCAA brackets.
Oh,
yeah.
Why? Because it's
fear of the unknown.
Yes, it's great.
We've seen
you get
teams,
the highest.
UConn's done that a couple of times.
When
they had Khalil Alameen and when they had the last point guy,
the Cinderella,
like back in the day, Gonzaga,
and the other one that played for Charlotte. They had to win all their games. Yeah, Kemba Walker. They weren't going to make it if they didn't win the Big East tournament. They won 6 straight to get into the tournament, and then they won 5 straight to win the championship. They had to win their last 11 games. Yeah. So, Paul said the NBA and NCAA need to do the same thing. Playoffs need to be the top 16. In the NBA, I feel like get rid of conference rankings and just rank the top 6. If that's what he's talking about.
How about the NFL? The NFL should do the top 16 instead of these divisions.
Well, that's hard because you always saw the NFC and the AFC play for the championship. Now,
no, but I'm saying in the NFC, top 16 in the NFC.
Oh, NFC. Top 8
in the NFC. Top 8.
Yeah, it shouldn't matter if you're a division winner.
Instead of division winner.
I agree with
terrible.
that.
That's in my opinion. That's
I don't like that either. But the money that's coming back, the NCAA has lost a lot of money because they weren't paying the college players; they were using them to make money. Yeah. And now the kids are getting a nice chunk of the money.
Hold on. So, but the NCAA is not losing any money, bro.
No, they are.
How? They're not paying the kids.
No, because the colleges. I'm saying NCAA meaning the NCAA teams, the schools, because Now the schools are giving the kids packages for NIL deals. They never had to do that before. That money stayed in your program, stayed in your pocket. They were using that money to sponsor the tennis program, the women's such and such program, because the football's always been the highest ranking. Now football's having to take money out of that pot to pay their players in football to stay. North Carolina's using that money.
But in the
reverse, I kind of
they have sponsors.
there's that too.
They have
They got the
sponsors
alumni now.
They-
All that,
like all the alumni that were doing this before, that was making it legal. Now they can do it legally. So it's really not so much as coming out of the school.
Yeah.
Like Michael
alumni fund, yeah.
like Michael Jordan just came back and said he's gonna
Alumnus,
and NIL to UNC.
Yeah.
Why? That's one of the things that people think that Bill Belichick went to.
I never believed that the colleges should make all the money, and they were before because they're making the money off the players, and the players they're poor. They can't even get seconds in the cafeteria because that's considered giving somebody a gift. There was a controversy like 2 years ago where somebody was ineligible because they took a McDonald's meal.
Right.
Because that was
but it
extra.
could ruin their whole program for
a
3 years.
$10 meal.
The quarterback from Florida State, he was at
4 different schools.
No, he did. Jameis Winston. He got in trouble for something like that.
Crab legs.
True, right? Yeah.
Yep.
They
But
said,
he was
well,
stealing crab legs.
Yeah.
But there was somebody else that I'm telling you,
It's nuts.
somebody was saying that practice.
Oh, my man, Syracuse guy right here. Let's see what he has to say. Willie Ford. Boosters are paying into what's called a collective pay the players. Schools keep what they make.
So they're not losing.
So other people are putting in that money.
Yeah,
It's
the
alumnus.
boosters.
It's alumnus.
Yeah.
Alumni,
But like I said,
local businessmen that are just big
but the
fans.
boosters were doing that before this.
But it was illegal.
But it was illegal.
And
Yeah,
that's
it's
what
But
under the table.
they were doing it.
Yeah. All right, the end of the table.
Yeah.
So now the cuffs are off.
Yeah.
And I love that story. If
Yes.
you guys are familiar,
Yes.
Travis Hunter did
He's
not
paid-
take $1 of his NIL deal. He used
He-
his money
to
to
pay
hand out the rest of the
other
people
kids.
on the team.
Better get that prenup.
Nah.
Well, before that, but he had a ton of NIL money, and he didn't tap into $1. He said use it to pay the other players who don't have NIL deals. That's the consummate team player
Crazy, yeah.
because he knows his payday's coming, and he's still making money with his own personal endorsements.
Yeah.
So he's still making money, but he didn't need the NIL
Crazy
deal.
town.
And now he's gonna, he's got the
I hope that
Heisman.
woman don't get into his head though.
Yeah, that's a whole nother.
But the worst part about it is what's making it worse is the damn media.
Yeah, because they won't let it. They're trying to
They-
pick holes in the story.
Yeah, they're looking for any little thing. Now that there was video of her being at some other dude's house, like,
Oh yeah, I saw that.
come on, yeah,
He was generous with the
like how, who's gonna now? Oh, look at that! That's Travis Hunter girl. Let me video.
Yeah.
Like it's just stupid.
No more envelopes under the table. True. And I'll pay guys over.
My guy. I'm not even gonna put that up, Willie. I don't want NCAA violations on Syracuse.
Yeah, that's what you guys were saying. So I guess you guys make a good point. The NCAA will never lose money based on their March Madness TV alone. Well, I was thinking just NCAA football because a lot of people don't know football funds the whole athletic department. Like,
well, not in
because
all
how
schools.
much money?
Not in all schools, because there's a lot of big schools in
Well,
basketball.
since they went Title IX and they have to support the women's programs equally as well, there's not another sport that you can get 100,000 people at a game. And those college, as we found out trying to go to the UConn women's game, those tickets ain't cheap.
Nah.
It says college. Those tickets used to be $20 ago. Now we were like $400 for nosebleed seats.
$400 for
Average
girls.
ticket price
for
was
girls-
$1,000 for
For
girls.
girls
UConn.
basketball game.
So we went
That's
down the
crazy.
street and watched the game. Oh, we saw you. We were there with you. We watched the UConn game all together down at Ramon's spot.
Yeah. So how about Dion getting top-notch plays in the portal? Dion's doing his
to
thing.
be more
man.
precise on that point, I'm not sure.
There's been a lot of guys coming to Colorado.
But yeah, Dion was getting them as soon as he signed, though, before NIL deals were announced, just because they figured he's going to bring a high-profile image to Colorado. They were going to get so much attention on TV and media now. They got a chance to shine. And they saw what he did at Jackson State. We weren't convinced that would translate so quickly. Dion's in year 2.
He's getting the players now.
Oh, yeah. But how much of that is him being Deion Sanders?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And now
I think 200%
people
of
look at how many NFL players are on his staff.
Top lineman and top DN from Bama went to Colorado.
and the number one high school recruit. He's a real small guy, like Devontae.
The quarterback. The wide receiver.
He's only like 5'9", but he set all the records, and he broke Jackson Smith Enigma's high school records.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't remember the guy's name, but I know
that's a lineman right there. Yeah. But the running back, the wide receiver, everybody said he wasn't as highly recruited because of his size.
Right.
And they were like, you know how big Texas 6A football is? They have one of the most competitive high school programs.
He's the best.
And he broke the all-time, Jackson Smith Enigma had the all-time record in high school, and he just broke it. Yeah. And they said, you can't teach speed.
No, he's not. He's a second. He's a second-rated quarterback.
Who's the guy that played at Alabama?
Colorado.
Who's the small?
Devontae Smith.
Devontae Smith. He's in that mold. We haven't seen Devontae Smith not be able to do it on the pro ranks, and he has to share the ball with AJ Brown.
Yeah, he gets it in.
So
he just
no longer can that be. Yeah, they got two quarterbacks now, though. They got Julian Lewis and they got somebody else, and they said you got to fight it out. But Julian Lewis is supposed to be a higher profile.
He was the number 2. Julian Lewis was the number 2 rated quarterback coming out.
Yeah, and he was originally going somewhere else too.
The number one guy went to Michigan.
That was supposed to go to LSU. Yeah. There's a lot of people going to Michigan. All of a sudden, Michigan got a lot of money. Yeah. Now, when Harbaugh was there, can't tell me he wasn't happening before it was legal. That's why he left. All those skeletons were going to come.
That's why they were trying to slap him.
Now he's gone, but now they lessened the rules so that's not illegal no more. So now Michigan's going, well, we got people that don't put up.
We know how to do this.
Yeah.
We've been doing this.
We don't have to hide it no more.
Right.
We know how to do this. That's what Michigan's saying. We've been doing this for years. But I don't know, man. Colorado's going to be tough, man.
All right. So we'll see how the playoffs pan out.
Michigan getting that Barstool money.
Oh, yeah. So, fellas, we got 2 more topics left. Which one you guys want to tackle first? The Fury-Usyk fight?
I thought you called Tom?
Oh, no, I forgot. And the Red Sox free agent signings, how do we like them, and are they done? Because there's rumors out there that
they need let's go Red Sox. They need a hitter.
Yeah.
They need a hitter. Willie Ford, I know you're a Yankee guy, so you might not like this one.
Well, they tried to rebuild after losing Soto, so they've already signed a big name bat over there. But I don't know. Willie. He's not the MVP dude he was a few years ago, Bellinger, right?
Yep.
So they've signed him, and they signed Max Fried. Mm-hmm. So they've done some work to try to replace Juan Soto. Teoscar, that's who I wanted to bring up.
That's Hernandez, right?
Yep.
Teoscar, yeah, he's tough, man.
They stretch. They added like a ton.
But the Sox, I like what they did with Crochet from Chicago because he was a second-year dude, and he was his numbers were high, but he was on a bad team. Mm-hmm. He'll have a lot more support for the Red Sox. He'll be our ace.
You don't think he's worth it, Willie?
The next 2 are reclamation projects, but they both were great. Sandoval won't be back to June or July. We gave him 18 million, and he's only going to come back in July. But if he comes back anything close to his form, he'll be a number 3 guy. But he was a number 1 previously.
I'm telling you.
The guy Walker Buehler that we just got from the Dodgers.
That's big going into October.
He missed a year and a half. He came back. He struggled during the regular season, but he was lights out in the playoffs. So he could be our number 2.
That's the kid from the Dodgers, right?
Yep. Crochet, Walker Buehler, and then Patrick Sandoval. That pushes last year's number 1, Tanner Houck, down to number 4.
And he's not bad.
And then the black dude, Brian Bale, our pitching staff just got to have we might need a closer or some middle relief people. But the starting rotation is going to be the best I've seen it in a while.
I hear you, Willie. I hear you. Willie said that he's glad that they got rid of that $650 million guy.
You can do. I didn't want the Red Sox to sign him.
Not for that.
Because that would have been the only guy we could have signed. We traded for most of the people.
Yeah. He's a great bat, but we can get more missing pieces.
We still can spend free agent money because we traded for Crochet.
We're talking Red Sox free agent and Yankees at the same time.
But
so you guys know
there's 2 other bats that are being tied in with the Red Sox right now. Teoscar Hernandez is my number 1 choice, but they're also talking about
the lefty
Santander from Baltimore.
Santander? No, that's not who I'm thinking of.
Anthony Santander had 46 home runs last year.
There's another dude, the lefty.
And then there's Alex Bregman from the Astros. Right. So those are the top 3 bats, in my opinion. Do you guys have a preference? I mean, Bregman brings the experience, but he's also older than Teoscar Hernandez.
Just imagine the Sox could land Sasaki to their rotation.
They could because they haven't spent a lot of free agent money. But I think San Fran and all them and the Mets are going to. The Mets owner already said there's no price. They just want him. They'll get him.
That's the Japanese dude.
Yeah. He just got posted. So teams have started negotiating with him, but you don't know the competition's bids. That's what's hard with that posting. You just put your offer in, and then he says, I want to go here,
Yeah.
and you don't even have a chance to really come back and counteract with
Rebuttal.
Paul, why do you like? Yeah, I like Teoscar the best. But, Paul, do you like Teoscar better than Bregman or Santander? Because I'd rather see Teoscar or Santander because of the age.
Bregman's old.
Bregman's older, so he won't be there as long, and he's going to command more money. Agreed. The Mets opened the vault. Yes, Will.
Yeah.
And,
Have to.
and they said they're not done. They're going to re-sign their first baseman. He's still out there, and the rest of the free agents have already signed at first base. Because that Christian Walker deal, when he left Arizona and went to Houston, that opened the door for Bregman to leave. And then Arenado, he went to Houston, right? Oh, no, he vetoed that deal.
Yeah,
His trade.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
vetoed.
no trade clause.
He vetoed it. He didn't want to go.
Paul, which one? You want Teoscar over Yanks, Rangers, Dodgers, and Pirates? Yeah, there's a lot of people. I don't have no faith in us getting the Japanese kid.
Mhm.
But the bat is the last thing I think we need. And I'd love to see Teoscar Hernandez first, Santander second, Bregman third. But they're talking about trading the Japanese player we got because they say he doesn't fit the Red Sox attack because he's a spray hitter and he hits cleanup for us.
Okay.
They're talking about trading him straight up to Seattle because they want Cassis for one of their young pitchers, but they want to give us the veteran that played at Cincinnati because they got two young pitchers in Seattle that are really good, and then they got the guy that came over from Cincinnati, but they said we asked for one of the young dudes, and they offered the veteran guy, but he's not old, but all three would be nice to add, but Cassis is a power bat now.
I mean,
And he's under a controllable contract.
yeah. I mean, the big issue is who's the biggest guy we can get. I mean, who's the most impactful guy that we can get for the.
I say Teoscar. Yeah.
So
Because he's
you know
young.
what I mean?
Teoscar's like 31 or
I
something.
don't even know if he's that old.
I think Santander's the youngest. But remember, Teoscar was in Toronto for a few years, and he came up like when he was 24 or 25 in the big leagues. But he was at least 3 years in Toronto, and now
He's Dominican, so he could be.
we don't know if it's a real
According to here, he's 32.
32. See, I knew he was a little older than usual, but Bregman's older than that.
Yeah, Bregman's older than that.
So I'd rather see him or Santander, but I think Teoscar helps us right away. And then Paul, there was
Bregman's only 30.
he is?
Yeah.
Wow.
But it's.
But then they talk about if they bring him in, do they move Devers to first base? Because Devers had a bad year in the field. He's never been a great fielder, but he's a great bat. So they want to take away his lack of defense, move him over to first, and then put Bregman at third. And that will shore up the defense, and he can't hurt us as much. Teoscar, because he has that winning attitude because he just left.
Yeah, but what do you
And he can run.
you bring him in what?
Bregman and Santander don't run like Teoscar.
Bring him in at DH?
A little bit.
Yeah, that's.
But if we bring him in, I think we'll move the Japanese kid that we got right now. Yoshi Matsuda.
Yeah, because he's the DH right now, correct?
Yeah, but he's not a power hitting, and that's why they're saying we need somebody who can drive and runs at the cleanup spot. He's an average hitter. But they said Hernandez could play DH, but then our outfield is real strong because they're like, who are we going to replace in the outfield? Duran. Yeah, I like him.
He's an all-star. You can't.
Then we got a young dude. Is it Anthony?
Rafaela.
But no, Rafaela plays the infield
Yeah,
sometimes.
he can play shortstop too.
But there's another dude that's coming up from the minor leagues. I think his last name's Anthony. He's our top prospect, I think. And they were like, he could play the outfield. So they were like, that would give us a log jam in the outfield.
I like the infield, the farm, the in-home.
Yeah, bringing him up.
Yeah.
That'll be financially. Yeah, Bregman hurt too much. In the last couple of years, yeah, Mag. Abreu, that's the other dude. Wilbur Abreu.
He's been out.
He had a good year last year for us. And then, like you said, they still got Rafaela.
Rafaela can play.
He plays second base and the outfield.
He played shortstop a lot too.
Yeah, but we got Trevor Story back. We don't know what's going to happen with
Roman
that.
Anthony. Trevor Story.
Roman Anthony, yeah.
Trevor Story's always hurt. Bro.
He reminds me of the second baseman that stole all that money being hurt. Pedroia?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, damn, he's great, but if he doesn't play, he's not available. That's Brian's favorite line. Availability, the best availability.
The best
ability is availability. Yeah.
True. Marcelo Myers coming up too.
But he's only like 20 years old. He was our number 1 pick, number 5 overall. 22. Yeah, he's 22 years old. But I'm saying he's only played 2 years in the minors so far. You know,
but he's gonna be good.
But they're saying they would move him to second base now because he's a natural shortstop. If Story gets hurt, I think they bring Meyer up and they put him at shortstop because that kid can hit. But can he hit at the major level? He was hitting up to high AA and he just made it to AAA last year. That would be a big jump to go from AAA to full time in the big league team because I think he should start off the year in AAA and see if he can dominate at that level.
Right.
And then we bring him up because you bring him up early and the weather's going to be cold up here. AAA, he'll be playing in Florida, he'll be playing in warm weather. He'll get a couple of months in, and then we save a year on his veteran status. You know how there was a lot of rookies that people didn't bring up till June 1st. Why? Because they don't get a full year of service.
Yep.
If you miss April and May, you don't get a full year of service. So they're under team control for another year. That's what I would do with Maya.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even think about bringing him up until June 1st.
That might be the plan.
But I still would love Hernandez to come. And then it doesn't really matter. We don't have to make another major splash. But Seattle is loaded. Look up Seattle's starting pitchers. Seattle's loaded with pitching. They don't have no bang on the offense.
Right.
Remember, they lost.
They got that right fielder.
Wait a minute. Teoscar came from Toronto, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I was thinking Seattle. Seattle or Toronto?
He played at the Dodgers.
No, he came
yeah.
before he went to the Dodgers. He only played for the Dodgers last year. But Seattle doesn't have a big bat. Cassis is in his low 20s, mid 20s, and he had 20-something home runs for us last year, and he was a rookie.
Right.
So his average should get better.
Yeah.
Oh, Singer. I'm trying to remember the name. When you say the name of the pitching staff for Seattle, Gilbert's Logan Gilbert, but he's in his 3rd or 4th year. They didn't want to give us him.
Kirby.
I think Kirby might be the other. Oh, who else?
Kirby was their number 1.
Yeah, it's Kirby, Gilbert, but then there's the veteran.
Miller, Castillo,
Luis Castillo. He was an ace for Cincinnati, but Cincinnati's offense wasn't that good. That was before they got the young kid. He got traded a year and a half ago to Seattle, and he's the 3rd pitcher, but he's a veteran. He would be at the top of our rotation. He's a strikeout pitcher.
Yeah.
Great for ERA.
Yeah.
Stuff like that, you know. So, I don't know, guys. What do the Red Sox? Mayer is taller than Bogans. He is? I thought he was kind of small in stature, but I know he's only 20 years old or 22 years old. Marcelo Mayer, the shortstop that is number 1 in the farm system. Seattle has the kid that won the home run derby. Oh, Julio. But he had a better year 2 years ago. He won the home run derby, but last year he fell off a little bit. But they got a Mr. Yeah, but he only hit like 25 home runs, but he can run too. He can steal bases. Yeah. But he had a better year 2 years ago. But they want somebody that's going to give them 30, 35 home runs every year to add to that.
Right.
He's the Julio Rodriguez. Yeah. They only got him. They want somebody to protect him. So if they can put Cassis after him, they can't pitch around him because if he gets on base, he can steal and he can hit for power. Yeah. But now they protect him. They were pitching around him all last year. So they're saying they would love to have Cassis, which means we'd have to put somebody at first, either move Devers over to first or trade for Bregman or something. Yeah. But Seattle's starving for power. So that'll be interesting. But
Rodriguez, that's the Seattle guy.
Yeah, that's what we were saying. They had a decent bat.
Right fielder.
Yeah. But he had a better year 2 years ago. He won the home run derby, but they pitched around him this year because there was nobody else to scare him. So that's why they want Cassis from the Red Sox, so that if you put him on base and we got Cassis coming on, this dude can steal second. Yeah. And they can manufacture runs and they can hit for power, but they want that power back. Really? I never knew he played first. I know he's an outfielder.
Yeah, he played baseball.
But I think if he DHs, we got to get rid of the Japanese dude. And then what do we get for him? Because some teams are
bag
going to
of
want
chips.
somebody who can hit for average. No, but he has a big salary too.
I know. I'm just,
So we might have to take pennies on the dollar to get rid of him because of how much we'll save. Like we'll eat part of that, but he got a big contract and he only played 1 year, but he's a spray hitter. Somebody might have a high strikeout team. They need another contact hitter. He goes, they take on 75%. The Red Sox eat 25% of that contract. And that's how we get rid of him. But that's
Dodgers, boy.
yeah. And Paul, Seattle's calling every day. And the Red Sox had to make it known we're not shopping Cassis, but his name's coming up because that's who people identify. But Seattle has to give us, they're not going to give us Kirby, they're number one. They're probably not going to want to give us Logan Gilbert. So we'd have to take Luis Castillo, who's really, really good, but he's a little older. The other two are not in big contracts yet. They're young dudes. They don't have those multi-million-dollar contracts.
Right.
The veteran does have it. So if we got any one of those three for the Japanese kid or for Cassis, I would be happy. I would love, because that's a healthy arm. None of them guys are coming off injury, but
Yeah. I mean, more moves are going to be made. You know what I mean?
Still early.
Yeah.
So,
would that be enough if we get the bat?
Masa,
Masa, that's the Japanese dude. But would we have to trade him, or could he fit in with that lineup? I think playing time would become weird because he's DHing. And if Hernandez comes in, Teoscar, they're talking about having him DH because they don't want to take one of the young outfielders.
Yeah,
you can't break up that outfield.
Yeah, because defensively they're real good. Teoscar's good on offense, but he's not the greatest defensive player. That's why they want him at DH. But you can't have DH with him and a Japanese dude. So if they trade for him, they have to have a plan for him. Any other moves you guys see the Red Sox making? Like, I thought that was pretty good. For the first time in like 5 years, I'm actually happy because we lost Mookie Betts. We lost Bogarts. We lost. And they go on to star for other teams. Yeah. And look at the money that we didn't sign Bogarts for compared to the money that's going out there now. We could have had Bogarts for like a $400 million contract. Yeah. And now you got people making $765. Yeah. And they ain't that much better, or I don't even know if they're better than Mookie. Average, power, defense. And
Mookie had everything.
Yeah. Eddie was homegrown. That $400 million that the Dodgers signed him to him, that was a bargain now.
Yeah, that was a huge.
At the time, people were like, we can't pay him that much.
That was so short-sighted. And
then I can't believe what happened with Chris Sale. I was so tired of him because I liked that trade, but he was hurt the whole time. Yeah, and then we need somebody to be Chris Sale this year. One of those two pitchers.
He goes to Atlanta and becomes the
Cy Young Award winner.
Yeah.
But that's what we need, Sandoval or Buehler do. Buehler was a candidate for the Cy Young. Sandoval is a little younger, and I think he played with Chicago.
Buehler's good.
He looked good in the playoffs, and now he's had the whole off season.
If he stays healthy the whole year.
What if they're both in the running?
Who?
No, I mean if they end up both in the running.
That'd be great.
Well, we know Sandoval can't come until June or July.
That means Boston.
Yeah, if you got that type of pitcher, if you can put Houck and Bayo as 4 and 5, I'm like, damn, we got a pretty damn.
Bayo's a young live arm too. Yeah. I like him. I like watching him pitch.
So, baseball should be interesting. So, I don't know if there's anything else you guys want to add to baseball, but we got one last topic to get to. What do you guys think about the fight?
I thought it was great. The way it was called was.
I thought they got it right.
Point. Yeah, definitely.
There was a lot of outcry from Fury's camp saying the scoring was really bad.
He's appealing it. He's appealing it.
What else can they say?
Yeah, but I just think that's a lot of nerve.
All you want. You got your ass whooped.
If we all saw the tape and we saw the highlights and we watched the fight,
I watched the whole fight.
Usyk controlled the fight. Usyk was the aggressor. He was backing up Fury.
Yeah, he got his ass whooped.
Do you agree with the scoring? It was a 4-round, 116 to 112. All three judges, and none of them sit next to each other at ringside.
All day long.
And they all called it 4 rounds advantage. Yeah. That's where the controversy is, because Fury said there's no way I lost my 4 rounds.
Yes, you did. He got his ass whooped. He sure did.
Usyk is like pretty quick, huh?
Well, he's shorter and powerful.
He's not a true heavyweight.
Yeah, he was a light heavyweight.
He's not a true heavyweight. He just went up. He was
fighting at 200 pounds.
Was it like under 40 pounds?
He fought at like 225, and
at least
this dude fought at like 292.
Yeah,
plus he's 6'7" or 6'8", whatever Fury is.
Fury's huge.
When you see them standing next to each other, it's like a big difference in height.
Sure.
So I'm like, how does he get close enough? Because if Fury was smart, he could keep. Fury can jab.
Yeah.
And Fury's dirty. Dirty. You know, I don't know how many times I've seen him refs breaking it up. He's got him in a headlock going like this.
Soften him up.
Like,
yeah.
no, you can't. No, you punch him in the
get
face.
it.
No, side. He's punching him. He got him in a headlock, punching him. Like, he's just dirty.
But
I don't like it.
Fury had better skills available to him that for whatever reason he didn't use. He has a good jab.
Mhm.
He wanted to prove he could slug. And
Yeah.
and he got beat to the punch in that game. If he would have kept Usyk away a little more, because when Usyk got close,
He throw it, boom, boom.
because when he fought Wilder and all them, all those great fights,
They don't count.
he was outboxing them.
Yeah.
They don't counter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Usyk, you know,
Usyk's a fighter.
I was impressed because that was the second time he beat him handily to me. I thought he beat him easily the first time. So what does that mean for that division now? Like, who's the next challenge
I forget, but there was a guy,
from Britain?
black dude.
Yeah.
He's talking a lot of shit. And Usyk was just like,
Because Usyk fought him already, and Usyk shook his hand and said, set it up. If you watch the whole interview,
Yeah.
he goes, give that man another fight. I don't want there to be no controversy, and he's better than anybody else you could put me in. But we all know boxing. The powers will be what makes the most money. The people don't know the kid that we're talking about as much. He doesn't have that world-renowned name yet,
Yeah.
but he gave Usyk a hell of a fight. It was a better, closer fight. Some people thought he beat Usyk.
but really, there's really no big names in the heavyweights right
But that has to be, we have to see that on a bigger scale, because that fight happened, but it wasn't promoted as big because we didn't know who he was. But after the fight, he came into the ring, and Usyk graciously said, whoever was in charge of the fights, he said, hey, make this fight happen. I don't want this guy to feel like he got robbed. I'll fight him again. But I'd rather see that fight happen than Fury try to act like we owe him something. You lost twice to him already. How many more shots you want? For that case, Deontay Wilder might as well ask for another fight against Fury. You know, he's already lost to him twice. So I don't see the heavyweight division as competitive as it once been. I'm having trouble remembering this guy, but there's another guy in England too that's pretty good. But the guy we're thinking about is a black dude from England. But I don't see 2 or 3 guys that are in the mix. I think after Usyk and Fury, the level drops a little bit. Yeah, I saw that, Brian. They arrested him up. They needed to. CeeDee Lamb shouldn't even have played last week, but he wanted to not bail on his teammates, and he played, and his shoulder's really bad. They're hitting him with injections, so painkillers, but he played, and
He landed on each other.
they have nothing to play for, and he could hurt it even worse. Where now he's recovering in the offseason. Like, you got nothing to play for. So they shut him down.
Maybe.
I had him in our league. I had him in a league, but I had him in Sam Acker's league. But I'm not in the I was down at the bottom in that league. So anything else anybody want to add? It's 8-13 to 7 Pro Bowlers from that. Oh, Pro Bowlers. I was like, Pro Bowlers. I was like, Brian switched up to the freaking Candlepin tour.
But that's what CD's about to do.
Yeah, it says 7 Pro Bowlers. I'm thinking bowling.
No doubt.
7 Pro Bowlers out from last year. Yeah, that's hard to overcome. But it's the right thing to do. I'm sure you're not disagreeing with that. You got CeeDee Lamb is top notch. You got to protect him going forward next year. If you guys all come back healthy and you got a top 8 pick,
Yeah, you need
as long as Jerry Jones ain't picking that pick, you guys should be all right.
No, he will be.
What? We'll leave that for next week.
Well, anything else anybody want to add before there's a game tonight we're going to get down to? But
Just want to get that quick note about Jaden Daniels, right?
Oh, did Jaden Daniels set himself up for the next level with his victory, the comeback victory?
I feel like he was born here.
Rookie of the year, you thought we were talking about?
Well, yeah.
No, well, just being a rookie
There's that.
and getting a big win,
There's that.
because even though Philly lost, Philly still had their defense. He still had he wasn't competing against their offense.
Yeah,
but he was able to
that's
throw
right.
and bring them
That's
back. And I think he had 5 turnovers.
Yes.
But he had the resilience to keep coming back and not being intimidated. And the last 2 drives he threw was crazy.
And
Short memory. I was going to say short memory, same thing. They say the best trait for a quarterback besides confidence is have instant amnesia.
Yeah.
Forget what you just did. Just go out and do what you're supposed to do. And he had 5 turnovers.
We in the football world, we call that play the next play.
For a rookie.
What happens? Play the next
For
play.
a rookie to play at that level and keep that composure. It helped him that he was playing at home.
Yeah.
But I saw Lyle Silver at that game last week on Facebook. T. Blair. There was a lot of Washington fans that were down early, and by the end of the game, they were happy as hell.
Yeah,
because when you to see a game like that, it's like that could change your whole season around.
Yeah.
That could motivate the whole team, give Daniels that type of confidence.
Yeah, especially at the right time.
Especially being a first place team.
Yeah. Which I'm glad you were probably a Washington fan last week, right? Because there goes that coin flip with Detroit.
Done, yeah.
No,
Yeah, they were the ones that stubbed their toe.
I wasn't because I was playing against Daniels
Oh,
in fantasy.
Oh, here you go. Conflicted.
Yo, I was pissed. I'm like,
Eric
yeah, I'm like,
lost
yeah,
at the
but
wire
no.
in the playoffs
Money.
last week.
That's money.
Like, yeah, but no.
He was
Right,
playing
right,
for a
right,
right to go. He's still in the consolation game, but
Man.
he had a chance and he lost. Lost closely, right?
Yeah, I lost by like freaking. Well,
I think he was winning most of the time, and then he lost on Monday night or Sunday night. Sunday or Monday night, he lost it.
terrible. I didn't lose it by like 1 point, but still.
What's the All-Star travesty that Brian's talking about? Did they already pick the All-Star?
No,
teams?
because how they're doing it. They're doing like
changing the format.
yeah, like it's like 4 or 5 teams of 7 players or something like that. It's stupid.
There's 4 teams of 8 players,
Yeah, that's stupid.
What?
Some-
It's like
and they're gonna have a
tournament?
tournament.
Yeah.
4 captains drop. Yeah,
They're just doing everything now.
And
Just like,
they need
grab
need-
it out the hat.
They need to do something because the All-Star game
The All-Star game is the
terrible.
worst All-Star game.
It's terrible.
Actually, I said the NFL was the worst. The Pro Bowl was the worst to me. But both of the NBA and the NBA, 3-team tournament,
It's
they
terrible.
both have to do something to make that game
3-team
worth
tournament?
watching.
It needs to be 14. Not
I'd rather watch
gets the
All-Star
bye?
Weekend. I'd rather watch the 3-point shooting contest, the dunk contest,
Yeah.
the skill, than I'd rather the game. The
Oh, yeah,
game is just
yeah.
a bunch of.
the Rising Stars make the 4th. That's true.
Oh, yeah. So there's no Rising Stars game this year. It's
No.
just
There is.
they're the 4th.
There is, but they're going to be. They're putting in a 14. I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Rising Stars.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But I don't know.
Well, a lot to be determined in the NFL.
I don't talk about the NBA until the NFL's over.
Yeah, but
I don't care about the NBA.
when we come back next week, there'll be another week in the NCAA tournament updated.
Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll be down to 4 teams in college. The NFL playoff picture, we could get, some more people could stub their toe this weekend, but we'll be keeping an eye on that Green Bay. To me, that's a playoff game.
Oh, it is. It is.
That makes that last
Intensity.
week showdown with them worth it.
Yeah.
But we have to win it, or else, there's really nothing. Because Green Bay can't catch us. We can only catch them. We need to beat Green Bay and then beat them the last game of the year. Otherwise, that 4 or 5 game is going to be tough, whether it's Tampa Bay, whether it's the Rams. I'll be rooting for Atlanta, to tell you the truth, but I don't think Atlanta's going to get it done. I think they're going to get caught by Tampa Bay or the Rams.
The way this is going to shake out is you're going to have to see somebody. The way this is going to see, you're going to have to see somebody.
Who's a bigger threat
the
to
way,
you?
the way this is good.
Eventually, you get to the dance. You have to. See
You're
somebody.
gonna. Yeah.
But the way
So,
Tampa Bay and the
you know what I
Rams
mean?
score,
But I mean,
they can keep up with you, man, because they can score.
when you look at it, we're looking at the Bucks, the Rams, looking at the Packers.
They'll
looking
have
at
home
Bucks,
field too.
Looking at Detroit.
Because one of those
They're on the
are
road.
your division
Really
winners, so we
dangerous
have to go
teams.
to Tampa.
They're on the
we have to
road.
go to the Rams.
Oh, and then not to mention the Eagles, but I don't know if people are really as scared of the Eagles as these other.
Hey, I heard Hurts might not play this week. He's in
No, he's
concussion.
protocol.
Yeah, it's.
All depends on
Yeah.
how bad it is.
But
And I
they
think
don't.
they're playing the Giants this week or something, right?
But they don't got anything to play for really. Anyway.
Yeah.
They're gonna be the second seed anyway.
I think it's the Cowboys because they were talking about he has a chance for the rushing record for Eric Dickerson. But they say if they win and they don't have to play, there's no sense in playing them if it doesn't affect the playoffs. They need a healthy Barkley. Why go for an individual honor? Plus,
He's been hurt in his career.
Barkley made a statement that I was very impressed about. If he can't beat the record in 16 games, he doesn't want to do it because Dickerson did it in 16 games. So I respect that because otherwise, it's an individual accolade. You're trying to beat a record, but you get 1 game more. So it makes it a asterisk. All right, they play the Cowboys first, and
But I mean,
no CeeDee Lamb, no Dak Prescott.
But to beat that record against the team that didn't want to sign you,
Right. But that would be a dumb move on Philly's part to play that mind game.
well, it depends on how many.
What do you got to prove something? Oh, look who's finally here, man. What, you at the truck stop doing push-ups and stuff? What are you doing?
Nah, he's in the city.
Oh, he is?
A minute to go.
Oh, all right. I thought he never stays this long.
Nah, well, Christmas was just.
I just didn't know how many days he was here. He's always 2 or 3 days and he's gone. Yeah, but he was actually home when we watched last Saturday. because we all went down to the bar and he was with us.
Yeah.
Then we went to, Lighthouse. So I say, oh, he's been home Saturday, Sunday, Monday. I just never know. That guy gets a load, man. Hey, you got to go. So I don't know. Anything else anybody want to add? Because I'm kind of excited to see how this week plays out in the NFL. And I want the college games aren't until Tuesday and Wednesday, so they'll be fresh when we come in next Thursday.
Yeah, true. So that'll be a lot to talk about. Very action packed.
In the meantime, I want to thank you for coming in, Mr.
Yeah,
Nosey.
hey,
You did a good job.
Hey, not for nothing. I want to thank you for coming in, but I'm very, very, very disappointed on the type of attire you chose to wear.
What's he supposed to wear?
That's very.
He's a Viking fan. What's he supposed to wear?
He can wear.
I mean, it's a Grinch hat. Come on.
he can wear that dumb sweatshirt that he has underneath it.
It's got to be a dumb sweatshirt.
Yeah, because you should have put that sweatshirt on top of it, and it wouldn't have been so dumb.
We're not gonna deal with every week, man. I go home and have sleepless nights. I just hear his name rumbling through my dreams, man.
What do you want to add? What do you want to add?
Ed, Mr. Career, what should
Been
you
home
add?
sick
We're here.
here for the holidays.
Add that change.
Take some damn Tylenol. Shut up.
Hey,
you wanna
that was
add?
all probably from Saturday night, man. You know, we pre-gamed and then went out, man. I was hurting the next morning when I got up. I know that. I was just tired.
He's got a joke, I guess.
Yeah, what do you want to? Oh, you gotta add this.
He's got a crazy.
You're gonna add Jonathan
He's got a
Noble 200 times.
He got a joke. Yeah, I know you. Yeah, look at you. Yeah, there's no H there, so spell check, sir.
Because he got a Merry Christmas hat on. He's got the Vikings jersey on.
He said, "What is Jonathan dressed like a non-Viking fan?" Let's come from a Giant guy.
Yeah.
Well, they got nothing else to do the rest of the year, except hope Saquon doesn't get the record against them. That's the highlight of their season for them. Tell him drink tequila. Tell who, Jonathan, that? 'Cause I don't drink tequila.
Did you have an episode with tequila?
No.
Oh, he's just making shit up now.
Maybe that's what caused him to have a long weekend. You should have figured out the remaining teams to take the wild card spots. I'm picking the Bengals over the Steelers. Well, we did talk about that a little bit,
bro.
We got
Oh, you're throwing shots at Neil Ferg.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
see
yeah.
what you're doing.
But Brian, we did talk about that, saying the Denver game against the Bengals is critical, and that we thought the Steelers and the Texans were more frauds than contenders.
Yeah.
So we did mention that.
Sir.
But in case Neil Ferg's listening, Brian Mag wants to make sure,
Coming for you.
and that you didn't forget this topic. He's got your name.
Yeah, he's gonna tag you and everything.
Yep. Oh yeah. That's why we said tequila. I said, it can't be me, man.
Yes.
A little bit of Bacardi too, though.
I want to see
Me and Mr. Career were both Bacardi people.
I want to see you mix Henny and Bacardi together.
Nah, there won't be none of that. I don't mix light and dark. Whichever one I start on is what I
Active
finish.
volcano.
The Steelers are bagging 3 straight losses, but they don't see each other. And the Steelers would have to lose out. No, because what?
No, if the Bengals only got to worry about Denver right now and the Colts.
Yes, the Steelers aren't even.
Yeah, that's what they compete with. The Steelers.
The Colts.
Yeah, the Colts got the same record as Cincinnati.
No,
But-
is it the Chargers?
No, the Chargers are
Chargers are a game
the same
ahead.
record as
The Colts?
Chargers get the same record as the Broncos right now.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
but
I
if the
forgot about
Broncos
Colts.
if the Broncos
No, I forgot about the
lose,
Colts, yeah.
then they jump ahead of
Yeah, Steelers.
Denver because
definitely make it.
they jump up in that division.
The Steelers don't want to see the Broncos in the playoffs. Basically.
Yeah, the Steelers are going to get in pretty much no matter what. But
The Steelers are
Cincinnati, the Chargers, the Colts, and the Broncos are all vying for that last position.
Steelers already got
And 2 of those teams play each other.
So they're gonna be.
Yeah.
I just think that Cincinnati's playing the best out of them, right now. Yes, sir, Mr.
Yeah,
Career.
we're talking about football. You're talking about
Yeah.
last week's drink. Come on, man.
Are you drinking tequila?
He said he's been down and out. He just didn't say what made him down and out.
Some Dayquil or some NyQuil.
I've never seen Fool be home
Not
and
the
be
syrup,
incognito.
not the
So for him to say he was under the weather,
He was feeling it.
yeah, not from liquor. He was out there in the cold, doing something. But anyway, 8:24, guys. I think we've had a good show. We'll look forward to next week's topics. There should be some interesting storylines.
Oh yeah, they played the Bengals. They played the Bengals last game of the season.
Yeah, the Steelers. But that's why the Bengals control their own.
How? Wait, Steelers
3-6
because
for
the
loss.
Steelers aren't going to win the division. Baltimore
Nah,
is.
Baltimore's gonna win that.
Right. So the Steelers are in a wild card spot, but Cincinnati, if they win and the Steelers lost, the
Oh,
Steelers
that's
already
another-
lost
that's
this
another
week.
flip.
If they
Yeah.
lose again
Yeah,
next
that's a
week,
flip, yeah.
then Cincinnati could.
That's a flip.
Nah, Cincinnati won't. Cincinnati only. The most wins that Cincinnati can get was 9, I believe.
Mhm.
They have what? They have 8 losses right now.
So yeah, I think
Well, they still have to beat Pittsburgh no matter what
Yeah, they have to beat. They have to beat
to
the
compete
Broncos,
with
they have to beat the
Denver
Broncos,
and the
they have
Chargers
to beat
and the
Broncos
Colts.
and the Steelers.
Right.
He's talking about Buffalo too.
He's trying to throw digs at me. He's throwing digs at me.
Well, Buffalo's pretty secure right now, so we don't need to mention them.
He can throw a dig because I bring up the Giants. Says he watches horses.
Yeah. You don't know who's gone southern on us now, man. It's
I know who wins.
Cowboy. He's a cowboy now.
Seattle.
Man. He spends a lot of time down
Seattle
in
wins tonight.
those country
Yeah,
states.
easy landslide.
Seattle wins tonight.
Yeah, because Seattle has something to play for.
Yeah.
And Chicago really doesn't want to mess up their draft
Chicago
stock.
sucks, bro.
That's another thing we might talk about next week. A lot of these teams, nobody's tanking. The Raiders messed around and won last week and went from number 2 to number 7 or something.
They went from 3 to 6. I think.
Can't get out.
They were number 1. It was the Raiders had number 1. Jacksonville,
New England. No.
New England's number 2 now.
Giants.
The Giants.
now, ain't it?
Giants was number 1.
The Giants.
2 wins.
The Giants are number 1 now.
Yeah.
No, the Giants was number 1.
Who's number 1 now?
Well, right now they're still number 1,
Raiders
but
had-
the Patriots are number 2 because they were talking about, do you take Travis Hunter at number 2? I trade down in that case because they need offensive. I trade down and get more picks because I wouldn't take their offensive line so bad. I think it's safer to take an offensive lineman, but that stuff we can talk about next week. What? Because we'll have another week to see that sort itself out. But nobody's tanking. That was my point. Like these bottom teams are still coming to play, and I'm like, yo, the Jets won,
Pride.
Oakland won. I mean, the Raiders won.
Cowboys went from 9 to 15.
Yeah, because they won 3 in a row or something. 4 out of their last 5.
Yeah.
They've dropped 6 spots. They say they might not get Ashton Gentry now because he might be gone by
Jeffrey,
pick 15.
I'll give you 13 points, and I'll take Seattle.
Word.
Passing off.
But does T. Higgins want to go there? Because I don't know if he wants the money more or does
bro.
he want to win too. If there's a winning team that
I
offers him
mean,
the
this
money,
year was Ayuk, right? Wasn't it? We were trying to get Ayuk earlier.
yeah, but he didn't want to go there.
Right.
He vetoed that deal in training
Might be
camp.
the same thing.
Yeah, Higgins might be like, I don't know. Higgins might want to say, well, what's the plan? What else are you doing? Because he'd be free agency. Now they can get an offensive lineman. They don't take because free agency will happen before the draft. So if they get a T. Higgins and then they say we're going to get offensive linemen,
Yeah, but I'm saying, like Pierre Travis and Gonzalez.
yeah, that would be nice.
But he wants to play both.
But you got to protect that Drake May. Drake May took a beating this year. Luckily, he didn't get hurt majorly.
Yeah.
I can't see them unless they go out and spend money on free agents just for offensive line. Go get 3 offensive linemen in free agency. Then they could draft.
I think
They
that's
have the
way.
most money.
Yeah, they didn't spend no money last year.
For the last 20 years.
So we'll see. We'll see what happens, man. We'll see.
16 and a half. No, I'll give you 13.
You can-
Dow
you
Jones
can
Stock
use the
Exchange
0.5.
over here. 16 and a half.
You don't have to hit that many keys. Just do the 0.5.
16 and a half. You're crazy, bro.
Who just wants you to know he does fractions. So 16 and a
I'll
half.
give you 13. If you want the half, I'll give you 12 and a half.
May has made, yeah, he has.
Yeah.
But I'm so
May is a beast.
the
Right?
fact that he hasn't gotten hurt
which
is a
means-
miracle because that line's horrible.
Which, yeah.
But
it's more
Stevenson becomes a
tantamount
better
to-
running back
yeah.
with an offensive lineman. May gets protected, and now you can throw to somebody like
You
Higgins.
definitely have to.
I think they got to get a ready-made wide receiver in free agency,
Mhm.
and then they got to draft a need.
Like Higgins?
Don't draft somebody on defense as much.
Higgins?
Yeah.
If they get him, yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know if Higgins wants to go there. We saw Ayuk say he didn't want to go there. There was another free agent wide receiver that said they didn't want to go play in New England because they said it was a mess right now.
See, Higgins wants to be number 1. He'll get number 1 money. Which is true.
Yeah. Well, that pans out. Thank God that's why free agency happens before the draft because it kind of it clears up the picture, unmuddies the waters because we got T. Higgins. Okay.
He put down that 300. Ooh, that's messed up, man. Ooh, that's messed up. Talking about my co-host over here. That's enough. That's enough out of you. I'm gonna mute you.
Yeah, Mag, that would be interesting. That's a strong possibility, but we'll see. That would be big for New England if they can pull that off. And like you said, money shouldn't be an object. They got to go out and get themselves a bona fide number one, but then they got to protect May. They do both if they sign Higgins, and then they can trade down in the draft. They don't need a number 2 pick. You can get the best offensive lineman at 5 or 6 and pull a Chicago. I don't know if somebody got 2 picks in the first round.
But I mean, if you trade down, then of course
Yo.
you get the
New England first.
2 second rounders or whatever.
No.
You got 2 first
No,
rounds.
you get
another
first round
You get a first
and a
round
number
this
2
year
pick.
and a first round next year.
Chicago did that with the number 1 pick, but it depends on. I don't know if anybody has 2 picks this year and how far apart they are.
Yeah.
But if they can
No,
add 2 first round talents and you get an offensive lineman and another thing.
I mean, if you can double dip and get
You get
2
Higgins and you get 2
offensive
first round picks, and then you're going to pick at the top of the second round.
linemen, that's hey,
But
All right.
New England got to worry about their coaching first.
Yeah, I don't think they should get rid of Mayo, but that's something we'll have to discuss at the end of the year.
Yeah,
A lot of people are clamoring for Vrabel
ultimative
because he's
ultimatum already. So.
he's an ex-Patriot and he fits the skin tone of being a
I
Patriot.
mean, he's had some success.
Vrabel? Yeah, but you don't give a coach 1 year knowing you didn't give him nothing to work with.
Nothing to work with.
He inherits the team from a legend. They probably said, we're not expecting nothing
No,
from this year.
I get that.
You know, and then they're screaming on you didn't win enough games. Remember, they beat Cincinnati first game of the year when they were healthy. That's coming back to haunt both teams because if Cincinnati would have won that game, they would have had the leg up in the playoffs, and the Patriots probably would have had the number 1 pick because they got number 2 right now. They messed around and beat Cincinnati game 1.
There's that.
Yeah. So anyway, I feel my stomach growling. Oh, there's other teams that got money that didn't spend money last year. Carolina, because they let their defensive end go and didn't replace them.
Detroit so has
They let
25
their
million.
number 1. Yeah, Detroit has what?
25 million
They don't got nobody they got to re-sign this year. That
next year. But we're saying that we got money to mess with if we had.
you only signed Goff last year, right?
No,
It was St. Brown.
we signed Goff. We signed St. Brown. We signed Montgomery. We signed.
25 million would be nice, but the Patriots got like 100 something million.
Yeah, they got.
And there's another team that has a lot of money.
Patriots got the most of the league.
I want to say it's Chicago because the only person they spent money on was Keenan Allen, and that was on like a discount.
They spent money on DJ Moore.
That was a trade. They didn't re-sign him.
Yes, they did.
They traded with Carolina to get him.
Yeah,
2 years
and
ago.
then they restructured his contract.
Okay.
He signed to a big.
But that's only one person. I mean,
I don't remember what it was.
I don't see too many big name contracts. Oh, wait a minute. The defensive lineman, they got Sweat and they got somebody else. Montez Sweat. Yeah. So they re-signed him this year. So we'll see.
Washington, Chicago.
Got the most money.
Now,
I said Chicago
Washington
was
as dangerous as it already is.
I still think they need to get offensive line and get better on defense. They might need a number 2 wide receiver.
Washington.
Yeah. McLaurin's nice, but he'd be
But they're
nicer as the number 2.
gonna get Stephon.
That could be a place T. Higgins wants to go. Like they're gonna pay him. He could be the number 1 over there, 1 and 1A, and they'll have a better chance to win right now.
T. Higgins goes there. I think he would feel like he's in the same boat right now because
Not if they give him the number 1 money. They franchised him this year. Cincinnati could franchise him again next
I
year.
know, but I'm saying if he goes to Washington, he could because McLaurin is already established as the number 1.
Yeah,
He goes
it'd
to
be like
Washington.
battling. Yeah,
Would you pick McLaurin over T. Higgins? That's how I decided he'd be the number 1. T. Higgins is 6'5". He can stretch the field. He has good hands.
McLaurin,
He can catch the ball in traffic. McLaurin's a speed guy.
McLaurin's killing it right now.
He is. Because there's nobody to compete with him.
Scary
Nobody to compete. Pat's 101 million.
And it seems like that's
Like-
that's his,
Go get your number 1 wide
that's his
receiver.
number that's his go-to guy.
Well, what's the other option? They got a young tight end who's their second leading receiver, I think.
Yeah,
I don't know. I think he'd be in the same situation as in right now, but he'll probably get paid more money. But
yeah. I see that. I mean, who's gonna be number 2?
I think that takes pressure off Terry McLaurin because We know he's the go-to guy right now. Now you're gonna be like, is it going to him or is it going to Higgins?
No, I understand that, but I'm saying Higgins wants to be the number one.
He wants to get paid like the number one. So as long as they pay him the $30 million or $32 million, I don't think he gives a damn because that takes less pressure off him. Oh, you want to say he's the number one? Okay, but I'm getting paid $32 million. I'm good. He's not going to get paid the money he wants because Jamar Chase has to resign. And Jamar Chase wants 30. He wants the same money Jefferson got, or $1 more, whatever he said. He wants $35 million and $1, which is petty to me. But then look at the year he's come the second half of the game, the second half of the season. He's ready to set receiving record. And he has a bunch of. They're saying he could do the triple crown that Cooper Kupp did.
Oh, right.
Because he has the most touchdowns,
Which is
he could have the most passing yards,
a unicorn.
and then he leads the league in catches because we compared him and St. Brown last week. So he got 2 more games to add.
Better hope St. Brown's been on Goss been on. So you better hope that you don't look at.
Better hope Surtain doesn't chase. He'll make it difficult because Surtain's one of them shutdown corners. He's going to make it difficult.
I don't think he's going to get caught with the yards or the touchdowns, but he might get caught with the receptions.
Depends the usage over the last 2 weeks, but
then again, they need him because they need to win. So
Good looks, fool.
you don't know. Go back to horse racing if you're talking stupid like that. They're not going to get broken up if they lose. Stupid. All right, man, we're out of here. This guy
guys, thanks for tuning in. Once again, thanks, Jonathan
It's
Noble,
always
for
fun.
stopping by. Hopefully, we make some time in the
pleasure.
future for you to come through.
Yo, you are sick right now, bro. There's something wrong. You took some bad meds or something, Jeffrey. But we out of here, man. Let's get
All right, man. We're out, man. Thanks for tuning in. It's 8:36, man. The game's already started.
Mahalo.
I got fantasy money to chase.
Peace out, bro.